Are you? Are we started?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Is it on the internet?
I don't know.
You're spooky. Why are you so spooky?
Hi, Internet. I would assume we're on now.
Hello, Internet.
Are we on
I'm
podcast?
pretty sure.
Yeah, you're doing that creepy pointing thing.
Oh,
I can ET your finger right now. There you go.
Ouch.
Touch the future.
Yeah. All right.
So,
the champs are here.
yeah. You can see
Oh.
us. You can, in fact, see us by going to youtube.com/BMFcast. Which you already know that
Which
because you're
You can
watching
see us.
it.
The time is now.
Right.
You can see us.
Time is now.
The time
Place
is now.
is here.
We are doing the thing, right?
What thing?
Live
This
stream.
Sunday?
Wrestling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Why would we not?
Just making sure.
Fucking wrestling.
Are you prepared to bring it on the wrestling shirt challenge?
I might have a surprise
Yeah?
shocking
Wait, is it
heel
wrestling?
turn or two.
Wrestling shirt challenge. Are you going to wear a Hogan shirt? You son of a
It's
bitch.
whatever I can find at Walmart.
They have those on clearance.
I'm sure there will be plenty.
Wait, wrestling shirt challenge? Or is this find a wrestling shirt to wear between now and then?
Well, you already have one.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe I have to go out and find a new one. I don't know.
we are wrestling shirting it up.
I am
Okay.
wrestling shirting, though. Mine's already here. Mine is prepared, is ready for us.
Repaired. Was it
Pre-
broken?
Prepared.
Oh, prepared.
Prepared for us.
Paired ahead of time.
Yes.
Get some popping peas up in this piece.
Yeah. Potentially. Potentially popping peas.
Prominence.
Oh,
Prominence.
Nobody's going to get that.
No.
The giant sign that has been erected near us that says prominence.
Prominence.
But like a ground level sign. But it's a ground level sign that is billboard size.
And it's cantilevered, sort of. It's like there's this giant piece of stone with an even larger sign hanging off of one end. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. The thing's probably the size of a semi-truck.
It's like the size of a Chrysler building.
Yeah.
It's like a missile the size
It's
of
a
a Chrysler.
prominence the size of
of
the Chrysler building.
It is.
I tweeted.
Oh,
Aw,
man.
really? Dude, somebody light a match.
Erect
doesn't
a
work.
sign the
What?
size of
Sure, if you
the
want to smell hot farts.
Chrysler
Light.
building.
What?
Giving you some Mike Doty.
I'm down. I'm with you.
Dude.
I am hip to what you are laying down, sir.
I know you are.
But what am I?
Oh, what am I?
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
snap
said it.
indeed.
Boom.
Hey, while you're away, retweet this. Wait, I don't want to retweet that.
Do it.
No.
Do it.
You do know that's about boning, Chuck, right? We're not boning.
Wait, what?
I want to let you know, like,
What?
when they trace the actual death of that meme,
Yeah?
your tweet will be like patient zero for when that meme died.
Which meme? I'm sorry, I
Awesome.
wasn't paying attention.
That's cool.
The Netflix and chill thing.
oh.
Because Chuck basically tweeted, "Hey, I'm going to go over to the BMFcast studio and fuck all of them."
Yeah.
That's what
I'm
Chuck
waiting for the
tweeted.
fucking.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
put your
still
money.
time.
Hey,
I mean, the camera's on now,
yeah.
Chuck.
Put your money where your mouth is,
Yeah.
Chuck.
Oh,
Or
I'll,
no.
I'll put something
Put your
where
mouth where that money
yeah.
was.
Yeah, that's
20 minutes into Keaton's cup and he gives you that look.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, you need to fucking step it up.
It's about
perfect.
boning, Chuck.
Yeah.
It is. It's about boning.
It's about boning in
Yeah.
podcast journalism.
Hey, look, I'm just a simple podcaster. Your memes frighten and confuse me.
No, there will be no chilling here.
You guys should really just chill
Yeah.
and retweet. Hey. Hey.
Hey.
Hey.
Whoa,
Hey.
that was
That was,
creepy.
that was a phantom hey.
Hey.
hey,
Hey.
I do not know which one of us that was. It's
It was
I don't know. Is the
Chuck.
Was it me?
thing coming on here?
Hey.
Hey.
Do it again. Hit the hey button.
Oh, I was about to say, did they make the pop out go away again? No, they just changed the icon again.
Sure.
To what? 3 dots?
No, the dots are, it was that little pop-out thing by itself.
Oh, so we
before.
just have to click it so that it says pop-out chat.
Right.
Pop-out
yes.
chat.
Yes, they made a contextual menu with one context.
Oh, good.
You guys.
Yeah.
Pop-out.
Fucking Google, man. Or Google fucking, whichever you prefer.
Google
You'll
fucking.
probably find Chuck's tweet.
I'm going to Google fucking.
Don't Google fuck.
Actually, I'm going to look it on Bing because you'll get boobs.
Yeah, Bing will give you better results.
Yeah.
It'll
Boobs.
be all about.
fucking.
Okay. All right. Fucking Austria.
What?
Apparently a fucking Austria.
Fucking Austria.
Fucking Austria, man.
Although the third hit is fucking videos on Metacafe.
Well, all right. I'll allow it.
Fucking videos. Urban Dictionary. Fucking.
To copulate.
We are earning our explicit rating early in this episode.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, why don't you type Netflix and chill into Urban Dictionary and see what it fucking tells you, Chuck?
An insertion of the vagina that is pleasing to the woman.
Who inserts a vagina anywhere? That's
of
weird.
the vagina.
Yeah, that
And it's
into. It's still the wrong preposition, Chuck.
okay. I'm
The insertion of a vagina.
This is what Anonymous said on Urban
Well,
Dictionary.
Anonymous is
on
moronic.
June 3rd, 2003. 3,333 people have voted thumbs down to this definition of fucking.
Why? Why would they vote it down?
It's still, it's an assertion of the vagina. That doesn't make any sense.
And
Unless, that's some hardcore scissoring.
yeah. Boy, these 10 words related to fucking are pretty good.
Boning.
No, nothing
It's
that
basically
clever.
Carlin's,
Yeah.
all of his ones.
Copulation.
Totally.
Trending now. Lemon Party. Alabama Hot Pocket.
Hot Pockets.
Hot Pocket.
Is
That makes
Alabama
me
Hot
happy.
Pocket the one that you submitted?
No, I was just saying, that's fucking awesome.
Wasn't there one that you submitted that?
I created a bunch.
I had a word of the day on Urban Dictionary. That's my claim.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
I'm not in this podcast shit.
Yeah, well, because
What
really, the
was it?
city is just like you say a city and then you say
Yeah.
a noun.
Oh, we did. Yeah.
and that creates.
Yeah.
Mine was nomonym. It's when you eat something and it tastes like something else.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Clever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should have been an nom 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 nom.
I'm pretty sure we had one whole pre-show segment on the internet of just us doing that.
I used to do it like every week.
Oh, okay.
That's where we came up with like the Sacramento ham sandwich.
Yeah.
Oh man, you haven't lived until you've had a Sacramento.
Yeah,
ham
was
that's
there
sandwich.
like
so
the Toledo car door? See, it doesn't matter what city you say and what noun you say; they work.
Cincinnati garbage lid.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Should we probably expand out of Ohio?
Yeah, the Rochester keychain.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good one. Yeah. It's tricky. Yeah.
It's tricky.
It's the dangling part that's difficult.
The participle.
Yes.
No, you're thinking of the Kansas City participle, which is different.
Ooh.
It is.
Yeah.
That dangles a lot.
That's better than the other Kansas City prominence.
Right. I'm talking about
Yeah.
Kansas City.
I
Kansas,
actually think
not
it should
Kansas
be.
Kansas City,
It
Missouri
should be the Key
prominence, yeah.
West participle
Why?
because it's dangling.
Dangling.
And it's already dangling.
Okay.
It's dangle dangle.
Dangle, dangly, dangly.
You said it.
Dangle,
sure
dangle,
did.
man.
Daggone.
Dangle, dangle, man. Tell you what. Is there a summary on Letterboxd that is not what's on IMDb?
Can't answer that question.
I had to restart my Netflix.
Your
and chill.
Netflix.
my
to restart
Firefox. I had to
Sorry,
restart,
your
so.
Netflix and chill has crashed.
No, that's the
You
exact
have no
same.
chill.
Now, how come I swear I was entering something onto Letterboxd and I copied and pasted the thing, and then it was like, no, that's directly off the IMDb, and here it is word for word off the IMDb.
Huh? What?
I don't know.
So if you're adding a film to Letterboxd that doesn't not previously exist, which I had to do for some of the early BMFcast movies, I was copying and pasting things that were like on IMDb, and I was like, no, same text, can't do that. And here this one is, word for word.
That's before they had
They typed
some
it.
sort of code.
They just straight up typed it out.
I don't think it's the copy and paste that gets them.
Didn't Wikipedia have one that was shorter?
Maybe. Wikipedia.
Keaton Scott.
Keaton Scott.
Keaton Scop.
Keaton Scott.
Keaton Scott. Scop.
That's a pretty good one.
That's a pretty good one.
It's an American crime film.
So basically, no plot.
No plot.
This section is empty. You can help by adding to it.
That is certainly shorter than the other one. I think I'm going to have to do my own little editing.
There's an overview on Turner Classic Movies. Ooh. Let's see what that one does. A retired paroled mobster aids a veteran policeman to take on a mob boss.
They don't even have... What the hell? Do these people even watch the movie?
No.
They call the policeman Jake. His name's... I mean, is Jake is... Well, no, Jake is...
Jake is Jakey.
The snake.
No, Jake is Don Rickles.
Yeah, Don Rickles. Jake.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was like, for a second, I was like...
Jake
his
is
name's
Don
Mike.
Rickles, and Don Rickles
Because
is
we
the
kept
name
thinking
of
it
the
was
dog.
Michael Keaton.
Right.
Because we thought Keaton's cop was the cop.
Yeah.
But no.
No, he was a cop who belonged to Keaton.
The cop is the name of the monster.
Keaton had purchased him.
Son of a bitch. Fine, I'll quickly edit this.
Everyone just calls him Keaton, but no.
No. He's Keaton's cop.
Right.
Keaton's cop.
Keaton's cop.
Just do a little editing
Keaton's
here.
cop.
Check out that big font.
I know. I do that so I can read it easier.
Check out the big fun on this guy.
What are you doing?
I don't normally need the extra large print to read something. It's just when doing it.
Do you need his glasses?
I might.
He's changing glasses.
Oh, are you?
I'm just going to wear sunglasses for the entire episode.
We'll still know you're sleeping. I hope you know.
Yeah, even if you draw awake eyes on them,
Yeah.
we will know.
When I go to edit the show and your waveform is just flat line, I will know.
Oh, he's been saying it at the Castle Wind.
Yes.
Yeah, you'll fall asleep. We'll give you an Arizona beef jerky.
Oh, thank God.
They're
Wait,
delicious.
maybe you can
Never
do
see it
steaks?
coming.
I thought it should be like a Albuquerque beef jerky.
I can do some steaks.
No, you don't want it to rhyme.
No, that's an Alba jerky.
Oh, but
A little bit different.
okay. You can't rhyme? Really? That sounds much cooler. An Albuquerque beef jerky? I mean,
Yeah,
come
you
on.
could, I guess. But
That sounds pretty good.
Not for these
That's-
purposes.
that's-
then there's
yeah.
somewhere you can just you give her the old Buffalo Wild Wing.
Yes.
And
Put some
whatever
sauce
you're
on it.
thinking is probably more horrifying than what I'm thinking. That's the best part of it.
What are you thinking?
You don't want to know.
Okay, then.
You got to preserve some of the mystery.
Whatever it is, it involves sauce.
Sauce.
Mm-hmm.
Some blue cheese on it.
Hope you like blue cheese.
Yep. Fucking Stevie Wonder over here.
My Chevy.
Yeah, what's going on over there?
I don't know. I just feel like wearing these instead.
Your eyes dilated.
Is the
Yeah.
future so bright?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, did you hear what today is?
Shut.
Speaking of the future,
Shut the front door.
Today is.
this is the day Bruce
October.
Willis killed himself in Looper.
Oh, right. That's
Yeah.
what, I knew that. Wait, spoiler alert.
What?
No, it's today. You were going to find out anyway.
No, today's
okay.
the day that Tom Cruise died for the first time in Edge of Tomorrow.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense.
That's what everyone's talking about in the
It's
future.
Groundhog Day.
Mm.
Today.
So, you want to talk about Keaton Scott?
Yeah, let's talk about the scop.
Scop it up,
Skeeto,
Keaton Scott.
Poop. Let's put the lower third up there and cover up Chuck, because nobody wants to see that.
Yeah, it's gross.
Oh, God, you're so right.
You're much better as a wallet explosion.
You're better as a wallet explosion.
Good one.
You're better.
Thanks. Thanks. I am better. Thanks.
Yeah, and you're not bitter.
I'm not.
Yeah, I can tell.
All this could be solved if you just come over here and we can watch Netflix.
I don't wanna come over there
Yeah,
and
you
chill.
promised us you were going to watch Netflix and chill with us.
It's the night is young.
So am I.
Yeah, well.
Not really. All right, let's start this thing, huh?
Eh.
All right,
Yeah,
you talked me into it.
That's our level of enthusiasm for Keaton Scott.
Keaton Scott.
All right, welcome to the BMFcast.
Hey, BMFcast.
BMFcast.
It's a podcast.
Episode 296.
Man.
Wow, Nintendo.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Huh?
So I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
And what we do each and every episode of this here BMFcast is we go and we watch ourselves a quote-unquote bad movie. Then we come in here and talk about it for the first half. Then we rate them. Good bad movies. Enjoyable bad movies. They get 1 to 5 jocks and robot jocks.
Yeah, robot
Yeah, that's Robot Jocks.
But the bad movies doesn't stay away. They get a negative sliding scale, 1 to 5 bags as in douchebags after Twilight.
Boo.
Not nearly as good.
Bad ratings.
No, it's disappointment.
So we find ourselves embroiled in
Controversy.
not only Coptober,
Yeah.
but also the increasingly bad idea theme year of 1990s
No.
movies, 1990 movies.
Yeah.
So, week number of movies we've watched. Keaton's Cop. I don't know what week we're in Coptober. Third, fourth.
This is the fourth week.
Fourth week.
6th week.
18th week of Coptober.
Coptober.
Keaton's Cop from, believe it or not, 1990.
What?
I know.
Oh. Keaton's Cop.
Quick plot summary, and then talk more about this. What do you say?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Ex-mobster Keaton, now living in a retirement home, narrowly misses being the target of a mob hit. Policeman Jake, an old friend of Keaton's, and Gable, a violent cop who takes an immediate disliking to the aging gangster, are called in to keep Keaton safe, as well as investigate the hit.
Huh.
Boom.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That sounds
Scott.
about right.
That is a description of the movie.
So this movie stars Lee Majors
Yeah.
as well. We thought Keaton, but no, he's Gable.
He's Keaton's Cop.
He's
Keaton's
He's
Cop.
the titular hero.
Yes.
Keaton's Cop.
Keaton's Cop.
Yeah.
A cop that belongs to the Keatons.
Keaton, however, is Abe Vigoda,
Hooray!
Yeah. Hooray, Vigoda.
who is alive.
He is.
He is.
And,
we will not be tweeting at him
No, we
tonight.
will not.
No.
No.
So
In
don't even
fact,
suggest it.
Probably shouldn't even mention his name ever again.
Well, I mean,
No, we don't have that
Conan
kind
was
of power.
constantly asking if Abe Vigoda was still alive, and he lived through that. So I think he can live through a Banff casting.
Okay, fine. I sure hope so. Tempting the fate. Finally, rounding out the cast, we've got Don Rickles
Yeah.
playing briefly in the movie, playing Jake,
Jakey.
Yes.
and some other people that are
Art LaFleur.
yeah, some other people that are less. than-
Famcast alum, Art
Art
LaFleur.
Art
Sure.
LaFleur.
Yeah, so this movie. Movie begins and Gable is
That it does.
What is he trying to foil? Like, oh no, he's like following some dudes. He's following a couple of guys, and they spot him, and they're like, "It's a cop!" and grab a random lady
Yeah.
and hold her at gunpoint and start basically running in this building. And it becomes we look at the front of the building as we hear like a ruckus going on inside. Mm-hmm. I will describe the ruckus. There was a lot
do.
of stairs and banging, and then like I think it was the second or third floor. We stop as we're panning around the building, and a guy comes flying out. And this is about 30 seconds into the movie.
Yes.
There's
Yes.
a man defenestrated from a third-story window. A little bit more ruckus happens, and it goes up to about the 5th floor. And it's
And they just kind of pan the camera over.
yeah, we're
to
like,
them.
what's going to happen? And it stops on another window, like 2 more floors up, and the second guy goes out a window. Mm-hmm. And it's like, this is the way it begins
This
the
is
movie.
our kind of thing.
Yeah. Then the cops and ambulances and everything show up, and the police chief, who is just. There's no way to say it. He's just super Jewish, and he's just like, "Ay, come on with the throwing the people out of the window." And,
You know they bounce.
They bounce when they do that, and I was taking my nap and things.
yeah,
And
he's a great police chief just because he's so very different from
Yeah.
everything we've ever seen in all the movies. He's exacerbated, but it's not like it's a different kind. It's a whole different level.
yeah,
it's great.
It's a different vibe.
And then let's begin the theme song and the Keaton's Cop theme song.
Keaton's gonna get you.
Yeah, that's
Tightrope.
another thing that is making us think that we're watching Keaton because they're basically pulling a Stargrove,
Yeah.
but in the end we have to rule it null and void because they're singing about the things that are going on the screen, and we're watching Lee Majors drive around and go home and everything, and he's not Keaton. He's Keaton's Cop.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, the song lied, and
Yeah.
we were thrown off for a while because like when they say his name is Mike, for like the first 10 minutes we're like, wait, his name is Michael Keaton.
He's actually Michael Keaton.
Yeah. But no, he lives on the beach in Galveston, Texas.
Right.
He has a dog named Blue, which was his actual dog at the time.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's kind of that. It's kind of that Chuck Norris movie, the one with the dog that we watched.
Top Dog.
Yeah,
Cop Dog.
Cop Dog.
Cop Dog.
Or Top Dog is the Cop Dog was the other one.
Oh.
Top Dog.
Top Cop Dog.
Yeah, Cop Dog was the one where the dog died, or the cop died and became a dog.
He became a ghost cop dog.
Cop dog, yeah.
A dog.
Yeah.
Good dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
But anyway, it's like that. It's the same kind of thing. He's just a slob and he drinks beer and there's beer everywhere and the dog's just like, hey, play with me, and he's like, nah, get away from me.
He puts him on a treadmill.
Yeah, he does.
He puts him on a treadmill and fires it up and is like, yeah, get on here and exercise and
Yeah, have a good time there, Blue.
what does he say? Like eventually you'll catch that cat or poodle or something.
Poodle.
Yeah.
And Blue's like, roar,
Yeah.
because whatever.
But he doesn't let Blue go outside or
Nah,
go to
but-
the bathroom or anything.
But he lives
So-
right on the beach.
It's one of those-
and I'm pretty sure he just like always has a sliding glass door
Yeah.
open to the
Yeah.
beach.
It's just like, whatever, dude. Just go outside if you want.
People are like, I'm not breaking in there. That's Keaton Cop's place.
Keaton's Cop is in there.
Cop.
Keaton's
There's
Cop
nothing
lives
of
there.
value in there.
No. Absolutely
That
not.
guy's a hard nose, doesn't play by the book.
Yeah.
Scop.
Yeah, Scop.
Scop.
But yeah, so there's been that dual defenestration, and then like it cuts to Miami real quick to where like some guys are playing golf, and then they all get shot. One guy
They
gets
do.
shot in the side of the face, which is really just they threw paint on him.
Yeah.
And these two goofy hitmen are like, we should play through, woo woo, and then they scurry off in their little golf cart.
Yeah.
So there's hits going on.
Yeah. Hits. Bring in all the hits.
Yeah.
Top hits of the 90s.
Yeah.
From the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Yep. But that's the only scene that's in Miami. The rest of it's in Galveston, Texas.
Right. Yeah, and we were confused on that as well, because as soon as we saw Miami, we're like, oh, another movie that takes place in Miami.
Uh-huh.
Great.
Nope.
But no.
No, we realized
it's
it's only
Exciting, wonderful, beautiful Galveston, Texas.
scenic Galveston.
Special thanks to
Yes.
the city of Galveston,
Where the
Texas.
sun never comes out.
Special thanks to the 2 years where it wasn't destroyed by a hurricane.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you want to see the city before it was.
Special thanks to an ugly concrete seawall.
Yeah.
But then Abe Vigoda's in a old folks' home.
Yeah. Playing blackjack with a guy who has to have him count every single card and keeps hitting. Like he hits on 18 and he gets an ace.
Yeah.
Then he makes him hit on 19, and Abe Vigoda is just irate,
He's furious. Can't stand it.
as is anyone that's ever played blackjack.
And there's an obviously mob guy coming into the building with a
Yeah.
obviously box full of gun.
Yeah, the rose box
Yeah.
that might have a shotgun in it.
Yeah.
Sir, why is your hand halfway in that box? I don't know.
I'm just
It's
look
just
over
easier
there.
to carry this way.
Yeah. So he comes up to Abe Vigoda's room, and Abe Vigoda goes to the bathroom or something, and guy comes in and is like, oh, an old man. Well, I'll just kill him and not get any positive ID whatsoever.
Yeah.
Shoots him. Police show up, investigate.
And they don't make a joke about that's the one time you shouldn't have hit.
Yeah. That one was left up to us.
Just say, like, they literally set that up. He walks away, and
Yeah,
then like
one-
the
one
guy
hit too many.
guy gets
Yes.
a mob hit on him.
One hit, too many. Yeah. Busted.
Oh, yeah. So this is
One hit we're in.
yeah. So this is when and also Keaton Scott has been he's met up with Don Rickles, his partner,
Yeah. They're driving to work.
and they're driving to work, and he has to go pick up his son to bring him to school. And so he meets with his ex-wife, who the son's like, oh, she's Uncle Dutch spent the night, and he's like, Uncle Dutch, who what? And so he gets in an argument with the mom, then proceeds to go upstairs.
But yeah, he honks the horn, is yelling
Yeah.
outside until the guy comes to the window, like basically like naked or
Yeah, the guy's
Oh,
got
yeah.
a robe on, but he has not tied the robe.
no.
Yeah.
He's just like,
But
check this out.
of course, the window is strategically just
We
high
almost
enough.
get a shot of little Uncle Dwayne.
Yeah. But so he's yelling about Uncle Dwayne to come down, and
He sends him down.
yeah. Then he storms into the house with the wife chasing after him, screaming, or ex-wife, I should say.
Yeah.
And then you see Uncle Dwayne come out the window.
It's a Dwayne fenestration.
So this is our third one. Keep in mind, this is about 5 minutes into
About
the
5
movie.
minutes into the movie, yeah.
threw him right through the window, Dwayne.
Yeah. Yeah, so the majority of the budget so far has been on
Breakable windows.
breakable glass.
Yeah.
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 And men willing to be flung through them.
Yes.
But yeah, that's when they meet up with the chief again, who they got Keaton in cuffs.
Oh yeah, they've taken him in cuffs
So
to
for
the
once,
station.
it's like one of those movies where it's like, okay, a logical thing is happening now. Like you just assaulted a man without provocation. So,
Yeah. And the chief's like, stop with the thing that you're doing with the windows and the such, and stop. And Lee Majors is like, fine, take my badge. And
He's like, he actually turns around. He's like, "Did I ask for a badge? Yeah, anyone?
Did you see me ask for his badge? I didn't ask for his badge. Take your badge. I don't want it.
Well, the Major's already starting up. He's like, go deal with it. Give it.
Yeah,
to
he tells Don Rickles, take his badge. Just get out of here. We got a call. Go see the guy.
yeah. So this is when they send them out to check on the dead Abe Vigoda roommate.
Abe Vigoda's dead roommate.
Yeah.
.com. .tumblr.com.
.tumblr.com.
That's my Bauhaus cover band.
Yeah. And then they get there, and like the director of the retirement home is just like, you guys, this is a pain in the ass. Like you
Yeah.
got, and it's like they're the cops investigating a murder at your place.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't have time for you. I can't deal with this shit.
But this is about 5 minutes into an entire sequence of everyone not having time for whoever's talking to them.
Yeah.
Like Lee Major's talking to the ex-wife. She didn't want anything to do with him. And then Lee Major's yelling at the captain. The captain doesn't want anything to do with him. And then they get to the old folks home, and the director's just like, I have patience. I can't be bothered with this.
Yeah.
It's like,
I can't
this
be
is a
bothered
murder
to help you
investigation.
solve a murder that happened in my building.
I like the point that they take a moment to have one distressed resident of the retirement home,
Yeah.
and she's like, "That nice old man, he never learned to count."
Yeah.
Yeah, like he was one step closer. He was almost there. He was gonna know how to count,
Yeah.
but then no, gunned down in his prime.
I'm just saying that was
Totally
just like
gunned
that was
down.
her recollection in
Yeah.
the time of grief. Like he never learned to count.
Yeah, boy,
I hope
That's
they
a
put that on
eulogy.
that guy's gravestone.
he never learned how to count.
R.I.P. Squiggly mark, squiggly mark, squiggly mark 2, squiggly marks.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
X.
Yes, X through X. So they kind of investigate, but it's everyone's just awkward and angry at everyone. Like Abe Vigoda doesn't want to talk to anybody, and is like throwing glasses at the door when they try to go in and talk to him. And then finally, Don Rickles is like, "I know this guy," and he just goes in there and is like, "Hey, it's me. I'm Jakey. Remember?" And it's like, "Oh yeah, you. And how's your wife with the legs?" And we are friends now.
Yeah. And it's like, wait, so as we learn, Keaton's like an old mobster who
Yeah.
had been in jail
On a life sentence.
on a life sentence, got let out just because of his health.
Yeah. And was basically trapped in this old folks' home. So he's reminiscing
But
with
he
Don
was
Rickles.
best friends with a detective.
Yeah.
Well, it sounded like they grew up.
They
Together,
grew up together,
like
yeah.
little kids.
Yeah. They just went different directions. So Don Rickles is kind of getting some information out of him. And then Lee Majors comes in. And immediately Abe Vigoda's like, fuck that guy. I don't want anything to do with him. And then the doctor lady comes in and she's like, yeah, this guy's an asshole.
Well,
I
yeah,
don't-
but she's also like, you need to lay down. He's like, no.
yeah. No. So everyone's fighting with Abe Vigoda to get him into bed, and everyone's fighting with Abe Vigoda to get information out of him. And the doctor lady's like, Lee Majors, get the fuck out of this house. Go away. And so finally
Yeah.
he does. He just leaves
Yeah.
for a while, and it's just up
It's
to
like,
Don
I'm going to
Rickles.
be back
Well, yeah.
tomorrow,
Yeah.
and I want answers.
Yeah, and Don Rickles, like he's like had this thing for cherry candies.
Yes.
Throughout the movie, he's like, "Oh, I'm out of cherry candies. Go get me some cherry candies."
It's like, all right, fine.
And then he's like, "All right, Abe Vigoda, tell me what's up."
Yeah. And they kind of get information, but, you know, all the information that's delivered in this movie, fuck if any of it
It's
means
all worthless.
anything.
It's like a blaxploitation movie. It's like you're not going to get the information you need, but you're going to end up where you're supposed to be regardless.
Right. It's just basically like, I know a guy. Let's go see if he knows anything.
Uh-huh.
Oh, they killed that guy. Well, I guess that must mean
Well, go see this other
people-
guy that I know.
Right. It's just a series of that. So whatever information they get, fuck, I don't know what it is. But then, like, Don Rickles is like, fine, I'll talk to you later. He goes downstairs, and Lee Majors is playing piano with all the old people.
And they're all singing horribly.
Yeah, they are.
Like horrifyingly bad.
right.
Because he's trying to explain to the director of the funeral home, or the funeral home, Jesus.
Wow.
Well,
for one man.
the step before the funeral home.
Yes.
Yeah, and he's trying to explain to her that, like, he's like, oh, well, he's actually a good guy, you know, once you get to know him, blah, blah, blah. And that's when they show him
Right.
playing away on the
Because Don Rickles is like, why stop arguing with your ex-wife? Let's get you a lady. Get yourself a nice lady and go
Yeah.
on vacation.
Yeah, because there's also, like, the son. The only thing the son serves in the movie is to say, hey, Dad, are we going to the circus?
Yes.
Which is, like, part of the whole thing is, like, you can get a good lady, and then you could bring him to the circus.
Right. So that
Have
is the
a
ultimate,
great life.
The ultimate goal is to meet a nice lady and take her to the circus
Yeah.
with your son.
Have a stepmom to dump your child on.
Yeah.
So,
So
good job, Jakey.
yeah. So
Yeah.
they go back to the station for literally no reason. It's just Don Rickles is like, I got to go to the bathroom. They go back to the
Yeah, and
station.
he refuses to go to the bathroom.
The
at
bathroom's
funeral
broken.
But he refuses to go to the bathroom at the funeral home because it's not familiar.
Right. Yes. So they go back to the station. They go into the locker room. The bathroom's broken.
Mm-hmm.
So they go out into the alley, and Don Rickles just starts peeing, and Lee Majors is like, well, I guess I will too. So
in different directions.
yes,
so.
thank God. You don't want to cross the streams.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, well, let's go back to the old folks' home, which they do. They just turn
Mm-hmm.
right around and go back.
Yep.
And they get back, and like the hitman is lurking around still.
Yeah, and we've had a scene also with the hitmen before that.
Yeah.
Where one is like lounging around in bikini briefs, looking at a nudie mag, going, check out that pussy. And the other one's like, what? This isn't good enough for you.
Yeah.
And then it's a very weird, like, I have no idea why it exists scene.
It's strange,
Other
but
than, like, I wonder if it was supposed to be comedic, but
I don't know.
it doesn't even work on that level at
It
all.
seemed interesting to me that they were going to set up like these two villains, but also just have them be a gay couple. Mm-hmm. And I thought, well, that's kind of interesting, although they're doing it very clumsily.
Yeah.
Maybe they're going to give this a shot.
Wasn't there a thing in a Bond movie?
Yeah, in Diamonds Are Forever.
Yeah.
Mr. Went, Mr. Kit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was wondering if it was a clumsy homage to that, even because they were hitmen in that too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It seemed to me like they were giving character to these two people who were probably going to be main villains in this movie, but they're not, because like in this next
Nope.
scene, it's just
Yeah, the next scene, they're one of the more gay one, I guess is the only way to describe him.
all right. The one with the scarf.
Yeah, but I guess this is the point where they're like, we need to get Abe Vigoda out of here. We got to take him into custody. We got to bring him somewhere.
And the doctor lady, because she was the one who actually saw the person who did
Yeah.
the murdering.
Yeah, and they're like, they're going to be back.
Yeah.
So they're going in, and it's like just as they've gone in, that's when these guys show up.
Yeah. They pull up in their car, which is
Yeah.
playing the same song all the time. Whatever that
Yeah.
meat song is.
Some generic
Wild in the Willows or whatever.
Yeah, some terrible 1989.
catalog title
Yeah.
that they just pulled out. It's like, these guys are always going to listen to this one song.
Yeah. But so, and the thing is, the guy is just standing in the middle of the walkway leading up to the place, and they're like, all right, we got to get Keaton out of here. And that's when the guy's like, and opens fire. Mm-hmm. And it's a cannon movie. So only one bullet really hits, and that's the one that hits Jakey square in the back.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it almost looks like someone like uses him as like a human shield.
Lee Majors.
Yeah.
Lee
It
Majors.
looked like Lee Majors used him as a human
He
shield.
basically did, because he fell forward into Lee Majors, and Lee Majors just carried him back, using
Yeah.
him as a shield to get it back inside. So, yeah.
So this is Don Rickles dies.
Yeah. He's just like, cherry candies for me. And then he's gone.
And he's like blood's coming out of his ears and stuff.
Oh, yeah,
And the woman
just-
turns the corner and is like, is he okay? And it's
How's your
it's like,
partner?
no.
No, he
Yeah.
is not.
Prognosis negative.
Yeah. And then, it's like, well, how do, is there a back way out? Yeah, through the cellar.
Mm-hmm.
So they all lead them out through the cellar, out the back.
Yeah.
To
While this guy's like coming in with freaking shotgun blasting things,
Mm-hmm.
and he shoots and Lee Majors is just like blind firing behind him as they go in, and the guy grabs the receptionist and goes out the back.
Yes.
And then it's just kind of like storming around like, where are you guys? Hey.
Yeah, and they run through, and like the other guy who's still in the car has pulled around back, and he's firing at them as they're
From the car.
running along, but he's firing so high.
Like he
he's hitting-
shoots the lamps above, like
Yeah.
the street lamp
yeah,
above them.
like 10, 12 feet above anything. Like
I said, it's a cannon movie.
Yeah.
Like
Make shit
one out of
explode.
a few thousand shots will actually hit someone.
yeah.
Because Lee Majors, I don't think he ever shoots anybody.
No, he does.
That's right. He does
in this scene because he's like, fuck this after the one he kills the one henchman like right away.
Yeah.
Like,
but I mean, he fires so many shots out of that gun.
Sure.
That hit nothing.
Yeah.
Like not even close to anything.
Yeah. But he takes out the one dude like right away.
Yeah.
The
guy with the hostage.
Yes. And he's got a laser sighted shotgun.
Mm-hmm. Of course he does.
Which is dumb.
It's got that Cobra laser sight on it too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's ridiculous.
It's ridiculously awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Lee Majors kills that guy.
Mm-hmm. And the other guy's like, fuck.
Yeah. And
so he starts to drive off.
And Lee Majors has run out into the road and is shooting at the back of his car. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, there's this unmarked like Southern Belle van that we've seen a couple of times.
Not like, oh, I do declare.
No. Like the old telephone company.
Like
Midwestern Bell.
The government split up Ma Bell into many.
I'm pretty sure it would be like Lone Star Bell in Galveston.
Right. I
don't think they would share it with any other state.
No.
Yeah. Their bell would be just Texas Bell.
It wasn't all fiddle-dee-dee.
Yes.
But they fucking launch a grenade at that car.
Yeah. The guy's in the back with a grenade launcher.
Yeah. And he launches that car.
And the assassin guy realizes, oh, fuck.
Yeah. It blows up that car. And then they peel off, and we're not privy to who they are yet. So we're like, were those cops? What's happening?
And also, like, the cops, like Lee Majors and everything, don't know that. They just see the car blows up. They don't know why.
Lee Majors assumes he hit the gas tank.
Well, I think his captain is like, did you hit the gas tank? Or
no, I think Abe Vigoda was shooting at that point because he was like...
No, that was a joke that recycled later. Yeah. I think the captain showed up and was like, did you hit the gas tank? And he's like, I don't think I'm that lucky.
Okay.
You have the forensics guy look at it. That never comes back. Like, no one ever goes like, yeah, there was a grenade launcher launched right at the front of the car. That's what blew it up.
Right.
That information never comes up.
Yes. Okay, that's right. Yeah. So basically, Lee Majors is like, look... Take Abe Vigoda to a hotel and watch him. Okay, he's the most important person to me right now. Take him away. I don't have time to hang out with him. I've got to protect this nurse lady who really doesn't like me, or the doctor. She doesn't really like me, and I don't like her. But whatever.
Yeah.
Apparently his dying wish of getting them together, Don Rickles' dying wish, works because. Like, doesn't he go to like talk to her and she's just all, oh my god, like all this stuff just happened.
Well, she's like, okay, you saved my life. That's pretty cool. Let's go back to your place.
Well, he's like, all right, I'll take you home. I think is what it is. And like they're sitting outside like
take you all the way.
He's about to like drop her off and he's like, I would like to see you later. And she's like, all right, hold on.
Yeah.
And she leaves and it's like. And he's like, I meant later.
Yeah.
But no, she comes back like this is like a weird pacing thing because it's like it's mid, like partner's just killed, like we gotta question Abe Vigoda, all these things need to happen, and then it becomes like sexy montage time because she comes back and then I think he invites her inside and they go and like
they're walking on the beach.
Well, I was gonna say he goes takes her to the beach house and like
throws her in the ocean.
Right. Well, they're doing like magic hour dancing in the sun and then like they play in the water and she says something stupid like I don't throw me in the water, it's too wet.
Yes, she does. Yes, the water's really wet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they flop around in the ocean.
The sand is very sandy.
Yeah.
The sky is very sky-y.
And then, like, they're done with
so much
that.
air out here.
It's so airy.
And they go back under the pier or something and get into one of the beach showers. Well, she does. She takes her top off and gets in the beach shower. And he's like, oh dear.
Yeah.
And then she's like, there's room in here for you.
And he's like, oh, don't mind if I do.
So he kind of...
No, wait, I should say, don't mind if I do.
Right. He kind of just...
50-year-old Lee Majors decides to take off his shirt.
And he kind of just peels out of whatever wet shirt he was wearing and gets in there and just starts pawing at her. And then, it's back to his place for sexy time.
I think that was underneath his place, actually.
All right.
But yeah, so they just went upstairs.
Yeah, they go upstairs.
Yeah, because the next morning wakes up.
He wakes up to her having an 80s music video moment.
Oh, right. That's still the same night.
Oh, that's right.
He hasn't woken up yet.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
She's
just standing in front of the open sliding glass door, and like her hair is now like Tawny Katane feathered.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
They are hitting her with just a spotlight that is hitting everything, and she's wearing like a see-through dress, and
her hair. I mean, her hair is just
it's something.
It's like relaxed Bride of Frankenstein right now. It's insane.
It is teased to fuck. Like Don Rickles was off camera teasing the fuck out of her hair.
You mean Ghost Don Rickles?
No, actually,
Rickles.
Yes. making racial jokes about her hair.
Right.
Your hair's so curly. Yeah.
Want me to roast your hair?
something hockey puck.
Right. Yes. That's it. So he goes over and gropes her again, and then that's when they cut to like him waking up the next morning.
And he also gives like the "I'll swallow your soul."
Oh
kiss to
fuck!
her.
Yeah, he
Like,
eats her face.
Yeah,
Lee Majors is like you're
the $6 million man. Like, be better at kissing, dude, because that was.
He was
offensive.
acting like this.
His lips were the only thing that survived the accident. And his lips
he
were
was acting like he was like 12, and it's like, oh, you're a girl.
Look, they didn't have the budget to give him his own trailer, so he was like, this is my perk for acting in Keaton's Cop. I'm gonna eat her face off with my mouth.
I'm gonna get a piece of cheek. Gonna gnaw some cheek off.
So he wakes up the next morning, bed's empty, and he's like, well, goes out into his house and is like, oh, this place has been totally cleaned.
Yeah.
He actually says something like, I think I must be in the wrong place.
Yeah. And then he's kind of like, that's pretty cool. Just goes over.
Yeah,
and
she
takes-
has entirely cleaned his house.
What is this the morning he starts off with a small glass of milk and then a beer?
No, that was the first.
No, the
first morning?
Yeah,
Okay.
that was the very first morning.
Okay.
Because you were like, oh, he's going to start his day right with a glass of milk, and then he chases it with a beer, and you're
Like
just
a
like,
Miller Lite, like
Yeah.
barely a beer.
yeah, just gross. But yeah, he just sort of walks out. I was like, wow, cool. I had sex, and she cleaned my house. That's amazing.
Well, she's out on the beach with the dog.
Yeah, walking his dog. She's like, I really like your dog. What's his name? He goes, Blue. He's like, but he's red.
Well, I think Ava Goda's shown up when he says that, right?
No, it's
no,
her.
this is before.
This is when she first asked. She says,
Okay.
He goes, yeah, but he's red. He goes, he can't tell the
Can't
difference.
tell the difference. He can't tell.
He doesn't know that.
He doesn't know.
It's such a good joke.
Yeah.
Dumb.
Well, it's just the way he says it. He's like, dog doesn't give a
Yeah,
fuck.
he's-
the hell.
He can't see colors.
Yeah. And then they get a call because Ava Goda, they took him to the best hotel room in the city.
He talked them into it.
Yeah.
Just like, take
And-
me to this place.
And he's been ordering like a buffet of steaks and everything, because the captain's calling Lee Majors. Is just like, this son of a bitch, he's already charged $5,400 to this room. Get him the fuck out of there.
Bankrupting the city over here.
Yeah.
You got to get him out. What are you doing?
I love that the police chief is basically just like an angry accountant.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's his role, is just to be like,
It's fucking Galveston.
yeah, these books are so imbalanced now. I can't take it.
They're probably like their one bit of pride was having a balanced budget for like 60 years. And then fucking Abe Vigoda goes nuts at the Plaza Hotel or wherever he is.
Yeah, because Lee Majors gets up there and like the dude guarding the door is eating a steak off a plate in his lap, and then he goes in and they've got like the swiveling lid buffet dish things, with like the sterno underneath, and there's like
Chafing dishes.
Yeah, thank you, chafing dishes, and he's got like 6 of them lined up in the room, and like the guys are sitting at the dining room table. The 2 cops are just like stuff in their faces and like, well, do you want anything? And
Well, the
he's
one
like,
rookie cop's like, oh shit, it's Mike.
yeah.
But they don't stop or anything. They're just like, he caught us.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like when you're busted, it's like, well,
And they are just like, he ordered all these things. I don't know.
And he's looking around at all the dishes. And he's like, there must be enough food here for 6 people. And they're like, no, 12.
12.
And like the other one's like, dude, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Yeah, but the one who's like a detective is just like, whatever. I'm taking this because I deserve it.
Yeah.
And Lee Major's like, what, did he buy your silk shirts too? And they're like, oh.
Maybe, I don't know.
No.
He's like, where is he? He's in the other room. Go talk to him. He's taking a shower.
Yeah. So Abe Vigoda comes out and he's like tying an ascot and then tucking it into his shirt.
He's getting himself ready.
Yeah, and Lee Majors is basically just like, dude, you think you're smart. Just tell me what the fuck we want to know.
Yeah.
And you don't have to deal with me, and I don't have to deal with you.
And Abe Vigoda's basically like, no.
No.
It's like, all right, fine. You're coming with me.
And I mean, Lee Majors is appealing to the right thing. He's like, I just want to get who killed Jakey.
Yeah.
That's all I care about.
Yeah. Just help me help you.
Yeah. And he's like, nah.
It's all right, fine. We're going
Yeah.
downtown.
But
Meanwhile, while all this has been happening, there has been an assassin sneaking through, like,
Yeah, he's dressed like a valet or something. He's just
yeah.
well, I mean,
but this valet took like 45 minutes to get from the lobby to this room.
yeah. Well, there's lots of shots where we don't. The weird thing, like this movie does this several times where they don't show this guy. They're like just showing his feet and like his pants.
Yes.
And then like taking great, trying really hard not to show his face. Like it's going to be some kind of reveal.
Yeah.
And then
It's not.
It's not.
It's just some random
It's a
dude.
guy.
But it's a different, obviously it's a different assassin than previously because they blew up. Mm-hmm. But he gets up to the floor and silence pistols the guy that was eating the steak off of his lap, and then is like picks up his dead body and has it in front of the door so that when they open the door, he's just like, "Ha, here's your dead cop friend."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then immediately like headshots the detective cop.
Yep.
He gets that guy right between the eyes, and the guy just does like the stereotypical,
just like,
stiff as a board,
Yeah.
and just like boing.
Well, he also gives the wait. Did I just get shot in the head? Look.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it just goes back like Frankenstein in reverse.
And then the young cop that was all giddy about the amount of food gets it kind of like in the chest / shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And
He gets-
everybody just kind of falls back
Yeah.
into the room and like
And the thing is, this guy does that and then runs away.
well yeah because like Lee Majors is like I'm gonna get you but yeah he's just like oh I messed up
I killed
guess.
everybody except my target. Well, gotta go.
Yeah, and he just it's a foot chase through the hotel and like some shooting in the stairwell.
A lot of missed shots.
Lots of missed shots, and then-
from like 10 feet away.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Missed shots.
Yeah. Eventually, guy is back to a window.
He's running down a hall and he tries to turn around and shoot at Lee Majors.
He gets
and-
the drop on Lee Majors.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have any bullets left.
Right.
Yep.
And Lee Majors is like, well,
Yes,
fuck you, buddy.
It sucks to be
Sucks to be
you.
you.
Yeah.
and
And-
shoots him and blasts him through the window. But like he doesn't. It's not like it's a window with a fire escape, and like this one the glass didn't break all the way, so he just kind of hangs like midway,
Yeah,
like, flopped
he's
between the
halfway there,
windowsill.
and then he like kind of pushes himself all the way through
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
fall over.
I half expected him to go, like Lee Majors to go over and just take his feet and just push him the rest of the way. Just like, I'm going to push fuckers out a window. But no, he just goes over to him. He's like, you dead? All right.
Yep.
Take your
Yeah.
gun.
You dead, bro?
Let
But
me
that's
take your
one of
let me
those
take your
weird-
gun, the evidence
Yeah.
of this.
Yeah, and picks it up like finger on the trigger.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think he needs to identify him. I mean, it's right there. He's not going anywhere.
I don't
Nah.
know. But yeah, then he just goes back into Abe Vigoda and it's just like, look, tell me what I want to know, or I will say the assassin got the job done. And Abe Vigoda's just like, nah.
No.
So he takes him back to the
Take them downtown.
take him to the station.
And then that's when,
Make
and they're
my way
meeting.
downtown.
That's when they're meeting with accountant police chief. And for some reason, Abe Vigoda has changed his mind. And they show him a list of names. And he's
Yeah.
like, "Well, what's the same thing? Well, they all work for the same guy."
Well, he like when it first happened, like he's just sitting there, like he's like, "Oh, that young kid took the slug that was meant for me."
Yeah, he's kind of had
That's his change of heart.
a
is
little
like-
change of heart with that, and then he's also learning this information. Like all these people that he knows are getting
Right.
assassinated for some reason. So I think he realizes, well, maybe I should probably.
But their deal is he goes back and he's like, "Look, I'll help you however I can. I can't guarantee who's still alive, but I'll give you all my contacts. Just let me go out on the street with him because I'll."
he actually says to the captain, "Give me 48 hours with this guy, and we'll go out on the streets."
I don't
and
think I think the captain imposes the ticking.
no,
clock.
No.
he says
It's-
specifically.
Oh, okay.
It's Abe Vigoda's
Okay.
demand.
Yeah, he says, just send me out there with Lee Majors. He's
All
a
right.
$6 million man. Gonna make
Give-
this happen. He's
give
the
us
fall
48
guy. Come
hours.
on.
Yes, give us 48
Another
hours.
48 hours.
Yeah.
Or I'll be the fall guy.
The captain's like, "Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do
So,
that."
at least with this one, it's the whole you got this much time to solve the case, or we don't care anymore. At least this one, it's kind of got like they've put the typical clock on it, but the guy's done it to himself, so it's not like the police chief's just like, I'm going to arbitrarily give
Yeah.
you 48 hours to get this job done.
I can leave. I can get the mayor off my back for 48
Yeah.
hours. None of that. This is Abe Vigoda's like, give me 2 days.
Yeah.
All right, fine, whatever. You want 2
Yeah.
days? Do it.
You get 48 hours, pal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But he's all giddy because now, like, Abe Vigoda's like finally come back alive because now he's giddy because he's like kind of free and he's allowed to go around the world, which he hadn't been.
Right. He's been trapped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Years and years.
I think first thing is it the first thing where he's like, I got to get a shave?
Yeah, it's this whole thing where he goes to a barbershop and tells Keaton to leave him alone, and then he gets in a cab and drives around the block.
Well, he goes to the barber and they hug and he's like, all right, I'm being watched. Call me a cab.
Yeah.
And cab comes and he basically
All right,
just drives
you're a
around the
cab.
block. Drives around the block, gets out and gets back in Keaton's car. And he's like, I don't really understand what the point of that was. Other than like maybe the people there was a connection in the barber shop and he had to look legit. Like
I think the implication was he was giving the cab driver information to give to someone else, but fuck again, like none of this information matters at all.
Right. Anyway, it happens. I don't know why. And then he's like, he starts telling the backstory. Like he's looking at the list. And he's like, well, there's only 2 people on this list of people that I knew that were associates with whatever the person's name was
that aren't dead.
One of them is Archie something, and the other one's this other like Lenny something.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, you want to know something funny about Archie? Archie's a lady.
Yeah. Like, oh, that is funny.
Yeah.
And then tells that whole story. Who cares?
Right. He goes into a more graphic description of Lenny being a homosexual, and then is like, like we don't need to worry about him.
No.
Like he's just like, he's not important. And it's like, we need to, like, something like, we got to go find Archie. And so they do this whole thing where they go and they get on a, like, it's not shot very well, but they get on a ferry, like a car ferry, and to go across the bay. And
I like ferries.
Yeah. And he just does this whole thing, like they're riding on the boat, and like he's like, yeah, I like ferries. I always like them. And he's like, well, Archie, what's her face, whatever her name is, Big Mama. Archie's like something like Big Mama's daughter or something like that.
Sure.
I don't know.
Big Mama.
I know
the police are looking for this Big Mama character because she like runs the crime syndicate or whatever, but no one knows who it is.
And he's like, she operates out on the island, you know. And he's like, but we're going to the mainland. He's like, yeah, well, I told you I like riding ferries.
Yeah.
Plus, we need to go see somebody else first.
Yeah,
we're gonna go see Fat Tony.
Right.
So he asks if he's ever been to such and such topless bar. That's Fat Tony's place.
The BJ Club.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah,
the BJ Club.
Hey.
Well, it's good they finally named a
respectable establishment,
a strip club after what is actually on the menu. So
I'm not on the menu.
And so yeah, they go there and like
better than a goddamn wholesale club.
They do this whole thing where like he's like, all right, just follow my lead. They take your badge off, act like you're my bodyguard.
Yeah,
and we're gonna go see Fat Tony.
Yeah, right.
So they get inside, like the like a waitress comes up and is like 2 drink minimum, if you want to sit at the bar and blah blah blah, all these things on the menu. And he's like, yeah, we'll just tell Fat Tony that that Keaton wants to see him.
Well, she gives him the price rundown, and then Abe Vigoda's like, how much is it to puke? And she's like, the nerve, and walks away.
Oh right, yeah.
But Abe Vigoda has also walked into this place and said, classy joint. So, and there's just like wood paneling and just like latticed dividers. It's just the worst. And there's just one lady whose G-string is nothing but dollar bills, and she's just violently shaking at everybody in there.
She's making money.
It's a frightening place, the BJ Club. Yeah, and there is wholesale in there.
Yeah,
you can go in the back.
you can purchase,
but there's no W. That wholesale.
Nope.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's where that joke was going.
Throwing that out there in case you weren't.
It's wholesale.
Yeah.
So like, bodyguard comes over, and they just antagonize him for no reason.
Well, they're just like, we want Fat Tony.
Yeah. He's like, oh,
who?
Yeah. I don't know. They just piss him off, and he's like, fine, I'll go tell my boss you want to see him. Yeah.
And Fat Tony is just a disgusting fuck. He's eating like medieval times turkey legs.
Yep.
He's got a girl on his lap, and he's just chowing down.
He's got a girl on his lap filing his fingernails, while with the other hand is eating fucking medieval times turkey leg, and it's just, and he's got a lobster bib on that's just.
He's just rubbing himself with all the grease, and he's a disgusting man. He's like exactly what you figure is running every strip club anywhere.
Yep.
So they come in, and it's like there's a couple of goons, and they disarm them rather quickly, and they're just like, tell us the thing. And Fat Tony's like, I don't know anything about the thing. And Abe Vigoda's like, okay, then.
They get some sort of information about this condominium complex that's about to be some future thing.
It used to be some dude's house, like the boss of Galveston or something. There's such this weird mafia connection to fucking Galveston, Texas.
Yeah.
Like this huge Italian community, and it's so strange. But, they
go to this thing. There's a security guard there guarding this place.
Yeah.
They antagonize him. Abe Vigoda threatens to hacksaw Jim Duggan with a 2x4.
Yes, he does. He comes to life at this point.
Yeah, and basically it's just like backing up, like doing the Scrappy Doo, like, come on, I'll fight you.
Marquis of Queensberry. To me?
Marquis of Queensberry rules.
You
let's
fat
go.
Piece of shit. I am Abe fucking Vigoda.
Yeah. I knew the Marquis of Queensberry. Seriously.
I taught him how to fight.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, that's just another scene, and like, but they basically they're getting like little tidbits of information that we're kind of understanding, but not really.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just something about like, this place that they're building, this condominium, is owned by this company, whatever the name was, and he's like, oh, okay, that's a respectable name. Mm-hmm. And like they try to do some digging on that, and it's like, no, that's just like that's blue bloods that live on the mainland. They're you can't touch them. They come from money. It's a wealthy family. It's just again, it's like chasing like blind leads or whatever, and then they kind of they go to see Lenny in this other kind of pointless scene. Because like they
go get oysters and fries.
Oh, that's right. They go get oysters and fries, which is Abe Vigoda's been talking about like for far too long, and then they finally go do it, and he like gets all gooey eyed at some ladies in bikinis. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's kind of a pointless scene, but like Abe Vigoda is just on in this. He's just like, this, that, and the other. Just the things he's saying. It's funny.
Well, he's eating the oysters while staring at these girls' asses. Like,
right.
It helps with my libido.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said the only thing he missed in the joint were dames and oysters.
Right. And Lee Majors is just looking at him like, you're gross. But
yeah, he's sitting at a table with Abe Vigoda eating raw oysters.
Yes.
With hot sauce. But
very important. Yeah. But yeah, then they go see Lenny.
Yeah, they go see Lenny, and this is really kind of a pointless scene, but
they didn't even bother to mic Lenny. That's how pointless this scene is. Lenny's just...
Well, he's like... As we described earlier, he's, he is a homosexual, and they do the 90s version of that, of like, but like they do like that, almost like the character in LA Confidential, like he's like this old school, like, kind of like this old school, like this old school, like
he's like a John Waters.
Yeah, like he's just like these, like like this old school, like like
super polite but super distinguished,
right.
High society homosexual.
Yes. But he's also apparently going semi-senile because he's like, who are you? And they early in the movie it was like, I know all these people, like we're tight, we ran this thing, and he's just like, who are you? You're Keaton. Who? All right, come in. I'll make you some food.
Yeah. Because he's like, you remember your mom used to make me finger sandwiches or something.
Right.
He's like, oh, yeah, come on in. Mom died. Didn't anyone tell you that?
Yeah. And, like, they're just kind of standing there, like, kind of chit-chatting, and Lee Majors, like, notices the phone van outside. He's just like, van outside. And he's like, wait a second.
Yeah.
And so I guess he suddenly remembers that he'd seen that van before.
Right.
And it's just like, Abe Vigoda, get down, and he tackles him over a couch.
He does. He fucking knocks him over that couch.
And Lenny, of course, takes whatever. They
rocket launcher.
They grenade launcher off the bottom of an assault rifle style, into the house. What we can't tell, like we just see an assault rifle being pointed at the and we're expecting gunfire, and then we just see thing out of it. We're like, what the shit? Oh, because there's no setup of like, oh, this gun has a rocket, a grenade launcher. It's just,
and this is not a survivable house explosion.
Not really.
Flames burst out, like the front door's blown off, like the house just gets fucked.
Yeah.
But then cut to Lee Majors just being like, oh man, holy shit.
Yeah, the fire burns itself out like immediately.
Yeah, like the room's all blackened and
yes, it's the same set. They've just painted it black.
It's kind of like the opposite of like when the road run, when Wile E. Coyote's holding the dynamite and he gets all blown up black, but nothing around him gets hurt.
Yep.
It's like the opposite of that, where everything else is blown up and they're like, whoa, man.
Yeah. Boy, oh no, Lenny's dead. Well,
yeah.
Well, it was a really good couch.
It's such a good. It's such a terrible good line read because Abe Vigoda's just like, "How's Lenny?" He's like, "Nah, he's dead."
Yeah.
He's just like, yeah. And they took a second to show Lenny's bloody face, like open eyed on the floor.
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, he's dead."
Yeah, he's burned to a crisp.
Well, he leans down and he's like, tell your mother thanks for the finger sandwiches or whatever.
Yes.
All right, bye.
Like, when you see her in heaven because you're dead.
Yeah.
Sorry about
we
that.
Just got your ass blown up.
We were only here literally 20 seconds.
To be fair, he was probably already on the list. I mean, it's not their fault.
Mm-hmm. No, because Abe Vigoda did explain a whole thing. Like, people aren't just going to show up and murder you. Right. They have to plan these things. Right. So
that's why they were safe eating oysters and French fries.
No one would have predicted it.
Right? Yeah. Did they know I was going to have oysters right now? No.
That's why we're alive.
That's why we're fine.
Yeah. This leads to a car chase.
Yeah. They decided to chase that van.
Yes. To music from Smokey and the Bandit.
It's great.
It is great, but it's also
totally weird.
It is totally weird. I mean,
you think about everything that has happened to Lee Majors in the last 36 hours. Like, His partner's been killed. Everyone around him is
He
dying.
almost murdered the guy that's been banging his ex-wife.
Yeah. He's been arrested. All these terrible things and this becomes a good old boy car chase.
Damn right it does.
And just like a good-natured, we're having fun downtown Galveston traffic. This is just a good time.
The same 4 streets in Galveston, because I believe they go by a convenience store at least twice, the same one.
Oh, sure. Well, they probably have that convenience store every couple of blocks.
Yeah, you get a point there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Circle K.
And it's a fairly long
they're
chase
like,
scene.
at one point he's like, hey, Abe Vigoda, hold the wheel. I'm going to shoot out the window. And he tries... And Abe Vigoda's like, swerve all on the road. He's like, why can't you hold the car straight? He's like, I've never driven a car in my life.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, well, he's like, here, give me the gun. So Abe Vigoda starts shooting out the window. But Abe Vigoda is apparently left-handed. And so he's sitting in the passenger side window, like shooting around with his left hand in the most awkward way possible. Like, looks like, at one point, they actually bothered to show a shot where it looks like he shoots a stoplight.
Right.
Because, it's a red light, and all of a sudden you're pew, and it changes, and there's no lights.
Yeah. The car chase, by the way, starts with Lee Majors getting in the car and driving off before Abe Vigoda has seated himself.
That's right.
And so there is a good 10 seconds of Abe Vigoda's stunt double hanging out of the car, while then they cut to an insert shot later of Abe Vigoda screaming his head off. And that leads to the entire chase being themed by Abe Vigoda just yelling and just this is, what are you doing? This is the worst. Stop it.
I think Abe Vigoda's stunt double is Abel Vigoda.
Abel Vigoda.
But yes, they're shooting wildly, not hitting anything. And
nothing.
And then the guys in the van, we cut back to them, and they're like, hey, load up. They've taken a couple shots at the car, and he's like, load up another grenade. And he's like, oh yeah, I have those on this gun.
They're remarkably impressed by their talents that they didn't know they had, because the one guy is always yelling at the driver to go faster. Which sometimes works, sometimes doesn't.
Sure.
But then, they've been in this chase for 10 straight minutes. And the guy says, hey, use a grenade.
And he's like, oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he's loading it up, and then, we're now getting down to the beach. There was a whole weird part where, because of the Dukes of Hazzard style music, we were waiting for the invisible ramp that they were eventually going to hit.
Oh, yeah.
And so, there's this point where, they go up on, the loading dock of these warehouses where the van is down below. So the car is and we're like, all right, well, here it comes. It's kind of backwards. It should be the van hitting something, but they do this weird thing where the car T-bones them and stop, and they're just kind of like, oh, I don't know, that was awkward. Let's keep going.
Yeah, let's back up and do that again.
Yeah. And they just end up down by the beach, and the guy driving the van hits the barrier where they go from asphalt to sand, and the guy in the back has finally, apparently loaded the grenade, and it ends up shooting straight down in the floorboard of the van and blows the van the fuck up. And Abe Vigoda and Lee Majors are just sitting there like, the fuck? And this is when the recycled joke goes. He goes, Abe Vigoda goes, I think I hit the gas tank.
It's the best. It's the best, worst way to end a car chase I've ever seen. They hit the beach so hard, the van just starts bouncing. The van just fucking explodes.
Yep.
It's so good.
Yeah. And then the police chief just shows up and he's like, guys, what did you do?
Stop this.
Yeah.
Kind of. He's actually not as upset about this one, it doesn't seem like. He's just kind of like, you gotta get something or get somewhere. Stop killing people.
Well, he's upset about the car that has been just smashed to fuck.
And they steal his car.
And they take his car.
That's what he's really upset. He's like, that's my car.
Hey, you.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
you.
And this is when he gets home, where, meanwhile, the son has just shown up at the house.
Yep. Walked there.
Yeah,
apparently.
walked there and got the key from under the mat.
And also is super engrossed in cartoons because nurse lady shows up and is like, opens the door, comes in, is like, hey, and he doesn't budge, and then she's like, hey.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he's like, oh,
hi.
who are you, stranger danger?
Are you coming to the circus with me?
Yes.
It's 1990. It was safe.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that house is just open. I mean,
Right.
anyone could come in.
I know. I'm just saying, be a little more aware of your surrounding, kid. You have a cop dad. He should probably be teaching you things.
Cop dad.
Yeah, cop dad.
How to shoot the gas tank.
Right.
But it's a whole family thing where they go out to the beach, or she makes some peanut butter sandwiches, and they go out to the beach to play with the dog, which really involves them throwing the ball back and forth over the dog's head.
Keep away
for a
from the
while.
dog.
Man, that poor dog.
Because
the
they
dog's
knew
like,
that dog would take off.
Yeah.
It's a dog watching tennis.
They're in the background while Abe Vigoda is just monologuing about the state of the today's youth.
Oh yeah,
and,
he hates music. Today.
yeah, and the breakdancing and the robbers who don't have any respect for the law and stuff. And eventually he hits the end of his monologue and he's like, "Oh, Lee Majors is not even listening to me."
Yeah, he's walked outside and standing on the pier watching them, and he's
Watch
like,
them taunt his dog.
Well, he's like, "Oh, that's nice."
Yeah.
Oh, that's the nurse. That's my nurse. Right? Yeah,
I got a family now.
That's nice. That's nice.
That's fantastic.
That's your boy too, huh? That's nice.
Yeah.
And
And he's like, you go down there and hang out with them. I'm just going to go take a nap on the couch.
Yeah. And Lee Majors is like, "Yeah, that sounds legit. Yeah, you do that."
And apparently they stay out there for a while,
6
talking to the
hours.
dog. Now they got three-way keep away from the dog.
Right.
And
The dog is just like, "What the fuck?"
they come back in, and Abe Vigoda has obviously disappeared.
Yes.
We see him briefly, like, making a phone call. But
Right.
we see him showing up with a gas can to the condominium place. Yes.
Right before that,
Okay.
Lee Majors figures out where he's going because he has written Big Mama and a giant phone number on a piece of paper.
Yes. Oh, yes. He dials the phone number, and it's like the something resident, whatever the fancy name, Callahan, or whatever the fancy name in Texas was. And then he's like, "Oh, hang up." And so Abe Vigoda's now at this condominium from earlier, picks up the same 2x4 that was still on the ground from where he dropped it before, with the gas can in one hand, and goes over to like the door, and like he's like, whatever the fat guy's name is, he's like, "Hey,
Fatso."
yeah," or something like that. The guy comes out like, "Oh," and he clocks him with the 2x4, and
The whole time while singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
yeah,
Whistling.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
And then he like goes 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out on his head.
Yeah.
Then like we see him walk in with the gas can. We don't really know what his ultimate plan is.
No.
But we're done with him for a
I was
while.
going to set that guy on fire.
Yeah.
I thought he was really
like he
mad at
might.
that guy.
So Lee Majors has decided to go see the Channings, I guess. Go to their fancy house with giant columns. Oh, there was also a phone call to Art LaFleur, the detective. Back, like we didn't know Art LaFleur was going to be a bad guy from the beginning because he's always kind of a heel turn kind of character guy.
He has literally no character in this movie.
Right.
He does and says nothing the entire time.
he just looks suspicious
Yes,
in the background.
He's just
always.
constantly just sitting at his desk looking at people going shifty-eyed and just like, okay, well, he's fucking in on it because
Right.
that's the only reason he's there.
He gets a phone call and disappears, and Lee Majors shows up to the giant, Roman column style mansion that they live in, and the door opens, and it's LaFleur with a gun. And he's like, "Oh, hey, I'm going to need to take your gun because Mrs. Channing does not like guns and smoking."
Yeah.
In her place, and he's like, he actually has the line. He's like, "Well, it seems strange that she's okay with shit."
Yes. He says it so casually.
Yeah.
It's not punched up in any way.
No.
It's like, that's the best line in the movie.
Yeah, it really is.
You really need to draw more attention to that line.
I think they did it with the exact right amount of justice because I think it's just an offhanded thing he said.
Yeah. Well, she's okay with having shit in her house.
Yeah. But now, like, Fat Tony's there too, and like, and his two henchmen or whatever are there, and they're all like just sitting in the living room, like pointing guns at him.
They're all just like
Except for
polishing guns and knives and just like, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they were just having an evildoers convention and waiting for him to show up so they could go, "Hey."
Yeah.
And then again, like I think there was a shot earlier in the movie where we see a phone call from behind with Big Mama / whatever, Archie, whatever the fucker all of her names are.
Sure.
Sandra, I think was also her name too.
Okie dokie.
Sure. We see there's another shot earlier in the movie where they go out of their way to like it's going to be this reveal like from behind like shot. And so she comes into the room and like there's this whole long like just feet entrance of her like feet and legs, and then she comes out and she's dressed, I don't know, like she's dressed like a Texas cougar. I mean, it's the only way I can explain it because like she's got tassels and shit, and it's like, but she's an older lady. She's at least in her 50s, probably, or right around 50.
She's a mountain lion at that point or something.
The same thing.
But yeah, they do bill it like it's going to be some shocking reveal, but
like I'm expecting like Morgan Fairchild or somebody relevant of 1990.
Oh, my wife.
Yeah, I'm just expecting something
sure.
like that with this build-up because I mean we saw blonde hair from before. Would this be like Morgan Fairchild or somebody? I don't know.
But like even if the movie is just
because earlier on Abe Vigoda had described her
Right.
yeah,
as
Yeah, she has a size 44 chest.
right.
yeah.
Her tits had tits.
Yeah. Which
To which Lee Majors is like, Huh.
Oh, that sounds pretty good.
So
I'd like to meet this
that's,
lady.
that's a lot of
Because
sense.
he brings it up when he meets her face to face. He's like, "Oh, well, I
Now,
see
I
now
mean-
why they call you Big Mama." Slap.
She loves it when you call her Big Mama.
Yeah.
But yeah, she comes out and it's just a very anticlimactic reveal.
Well, it's June Wilkinson. She is a pinup girl from many years before. Many years before. Yeah. Now she's just kind of. Now she's kind of, other than the size of her boobs, she's kind of indistinguishable from like that Joe Pesci, or Joe Piscopo. Sorry, Joe Piscopo, just sort of older, mannish lesbian look.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's a weird thing about this movie. Like, they keep calling Lee Majors kid.
Right.
He's
And
51.
Lee Majors is like, yeah.
In this movie, he is 51 years old.
Yeah, and they keep calling him kid.
Every character calls him kid.
It's one of those, like, was somebody else
He is younger
cast
than a lot of
and
the
then-
characters in this movie. Though.
Sure.
Sure.
I mean, especially with Abe Vigoda.
Yes.
Yes.
Elder statesman
But
Abe
honestly,
Vigoda.
he might be the youngest male character in this movie.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
like Fat
Well, except
Tony.
for
Jimmy or whatever.
Yeah,
Well,
he's
yeah.
just looking.
Because like Fat
He doesn't
Tony,
count.
when he's disarmed all of Fat
He's a
Tony's
child.
goons in the strip club, Fat Tony says, "You should come work for me, kid." Now Lee Majors is older than Fat Tony, as
Yeah.
disgusting as
Yeah.
Fat Tony is. So I mean,
Yeah, Fat Tony would not have 51 years on his life looking and acting the way he does.
no, he's not long for this earth.
But yeah, so she, I mean, like I said, it's this reveal. I mean, I guess like if you know her work or whatever, it's like she's not a big enough name to have this kind of reveal where it's like, oh, it's you.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Okay.
Other female character in movie.
Right. So like she monologues briefly like, oh, that's my husband. I married him because like he didn't have any money, but he had all the position and I had all the money but no position, and we got together and blah blah blah.
He couldn't pay his gambling debts, so
Right, so
he
I-
married me instead.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like they're writing in the down. Like, she's monologuing all this in a limo because they're going to the apartment buildings for
it's the
whatever.
Bond
way
villain
downtown.
info dump.
Right.
In the limo on the way
Here's
over.
why all the things have happened.
Right. And he's like, what did you tell about me? It was a whole story about how you were born to a pimp and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I had to be tough and hard and blah, blah, blah. Info dump. Doesn't matter.
Nope.
They get to the building and I don't know why they go there. I don't know if they know that Abe Vigoda's there. If he's taunted, did he taunt them?
They have gone there because there's $30 million buried in the house.
Okay.
Her shell corporation has bought the house, which they have been taking apart board by board to find the $30 million.
Okay. And Abe Vigoda knows exactly where it is.
Abe Vigoda went straight to it because it was in a fireplace brick.
All right.
And he pulls out a little tiny satchel and goes, $30 million. Yeah. And I'm like, well, is that all in $10 million bills?
Yeah.
It could be diamonds. It could be anything.
Is sure. But we don't know.
We don't know.
It's the briefcase in Pulp Fiction. We
Yep.
just don't know.
Yeah.
So they show up, and they're just yelling down the hall at Abe Vigoda, like, hey, he's like, I found the money. It's mine. Ha ha.
And she's like, wait, whoa, we need to talk. We'll split it 50-50.
Yeah.
You know?
I guess he's outnumbered. I guess that's why. Like,
They're just trying to draw him out. They're not going to give him half the money.
be like,
Probably
nah,
not.
fuck you, run.
Well,
Yeah.
and I like also that
Eat
they're
shit.
like, we got Lee Majors,
yeah.
and he's like, do you think I give a fuck about Lee Majors? He's
Cares.
a cop.
Yeah, you don't have his kid or anything. You just got
Yeah.
fucking Lee Majors.
Yeah.
He's 51. He's lived a life.
I don't know if he has $30 million more worth of life left in
Yeah.
him, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think I'll keep the money.
I came to like the guy, but I didn't come to $30 million like the guy.
I mean, I'm never going to see him again after
Right.
this.
But his plan is he's basically drawn gasoline trails throughout the house, and he lights one, and it goes down the hallway like in the middle of where they are, and so they split to either side. They're like, "Holy shit, fire!"
Right.
And they all kind of freak out for just like, I mean,
The fire doesn't jump. That's the thing.
it doesn't jump. It's just it's a gasoline.
Yeah.
You've poured gasoline on the ground and lit it before. It doesn't
It
last
goes-
all that long.
Well, yeah.
But it's not spreading anywhere.
No.
It is just this
No.
trail, and it's like, well, I can.
They all kind
get
of freak
the
out
way.
and they like dive to their respective areas.
They're like, oh God, how do we
And,
get
like,
out of here?
They kind of like, oh, we better hide in this other room. And he's planned that. He's basically trapped in his back room and lights another trail that goes into that room, which goes right into like the big bouncer
Like
dude.
the oldest Home Alone ever.
Yeah,
he really is.
it's old folks Home Alone.
Right.
So like this other trail goes like right down in the middle of the room where the bouncer guy was standing right in the middle of it, and he just gets a Burning Man because I think that's in the canon contracts that everyone signs that there will be
gets a ticket.
There
to
will be
Burning
someone completely engulfed in flames by the end of this movie.
Yeah, but so he gets set on fire, which isn't bad enough because then he comes out into the hallway.
Well, he goes like running around like, I'm on fire, and
and then Lee Majors just fucking lights him up.
He's trying to put him out with bullets.
with bullets. Yeah, I was gonna say like let's say with.
I got you. I'll take care of this. Play.
Well, so does Abe Vigoda. He's got a gun too.
Yeah, they both.
Like, bam, bam.
Yeah,
They put the guy out of his misery.
Yeah, they do.
It was a mercy killing.
yeah.
Vigoda's got a...
And then I guess it's getting really hot / whatever is happening in the other room because they're like
Big Mama's also having hot slashes.
I guess we got to get out of this room. So what are we gonna do? And like LaFleur's like, I got nothing better to do, and he gets 2 guns and is like, I'm gonna run out of the room, and just immediately gets shot.
Just gets wasted.
Just immediately
So
wasted.
good.
And then like the husband's like, well, we what was it? We Channings maybe lots of things, but we're not cowards.
Right.
And he goes running out and is like, ha, and then bam, he gets shot.
They basically just funnel all the bad guys out through this doorway, and Lee Majors and Abe Vigoda are just standing there shooting each one that comes out.
Yeah. And then Big Mom is like, fuck this shit. I'm going to run out some other way that I don't know why everyone else didn't run out this way.
Yeah.
Because she runs outside and like all the cops have shown up.
They're like, well, we got you now, Big Mama.
Yeah. Like, well, no, they don't even end with her. They don't show what happens to her, do
No,
they?
they throw her in her car.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Because she's like,
right.
you fucking cops.
That's right at the end. But like, I mean, they don't really show her like them like surrounding her or anything. It's just there's a helicopter spotlight, cop cars everywhere, and it's like, come out, everybody with your hands up.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, let's wrap this shit up, B, because like, everyone's just
playing the music and
yeah,
everything.
like I mean, like the cops are there, and, like everyone's just like outside and. They're, like I said, they don't bother to film like anyone coming out of the building. It's just like everyone's outside now. We've caught Big Mama. They're throwing her in her car. And she's like, "Fuck you, pigs," or whatever.
Yeah, and somehow his son and girlfriend are just like there,
Right.
Like like the bat signal went up. They're like, oh, we gotta get
And
over
there's
there.
Also, the entire rest of Galveston,
Yes.
Texas is there.
Well, I mean, this building is now fully engulfed in flames. Like there's fire people, trying to put out the fire.
Sure.
is fully involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no one will get that joke unless they eat at Firehouse.
Well, it's growing.
Yeah.
People in
It's
Galveston
true.
could probably eat there now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Likely.
If
But yeah,
there's still a
but they
Galveston.
come out and then
No, we
like
burned it down.
Abe Vigoda's just like, go to your family, kid.
Yeah, your
Abe
new family.
Vigoda, and-
Go to the circus.
And then the accountant chief's like, hey, good job there, Abe Vigoda.
Yeah.
You may be a criminal, but
you get results.
we got yeah, exactly.
I just caught what BJ
helped us
said.
get
That needs
Big
to be
Mama.
said louder. Abe, but go to your family.
Yeah, if you go to your family.
But yeah, and then the thing is, they walk off together. Like he walks off with the family, and everyone in the crowd is like, "Yeah, woo! Keaton's cop, woo!" And like this
But there's
place is
the fact that
burning
they're-
to the ground behind them. Like they all just showed up. They're like, "It's a cookout, woo!"
Well, the nurse lady's even like throwing her hands up.
Oh
in the air,
yeah,
like,
she's like pumping up the crowd, like, yeah, this
she's
is
like-
fucking Keaton's cop over here.
It's the
I'm
Scott.
fucking Keaton's cop.
They burned a man to death in there. You know that.
We're going to the circus.
This is fucking Keaton's cop, and I'm fucking Keaton's cop. Woo!
But like, it's not just that they're all cheering; it's that they're all there.
yeah.
Why are there?
Yeah, we don't know.
Why are there 1,000 people standing in like a receiving line outside of a burning building in Galveston, Texas?
I mean,
What?
Barbecue.
I know Galveston is
There's
bad.
nothing to do in Galveston.
Is it
There's
so
nothing
bad
to do in
that everybody
Galveston.
just like has their police scanner?
Oh,
Is
yeah.
like, oh my God, there's a fire. Let's go form the line.
Any
and
kind of
cheer whoever comes out.
Yeah.
any kind of tragedy galvanizes the entire town.
Yes, I guess
That's
it
why
does.
they call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not like there was some announcement like this is the guy who stopped Big Mama and all. It's
Maybe they did. Maybe the chief announced like, and now, ladies and gentlemen,
announced.
please welcome to the ring,
Mr.
the
and
hero
Mrs.
of
Keaton's
Galveston, Keaton's cop.
Yeah.
and then it ends. I mean, it's
It's Abe Vigoda from out of nowhere. My God, he's got a family now.
An arcade Vigoda.
All these things. But yes, but it freeze frames in the middle of this, them going through this receiving line.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you can't even see them.
no. I have no idea where they are.
That's how many people there are. It's bizarre.
Yeah,
Yep, and
that's
then it's
Keaton's
over.
cop.
It's Keaton's Cup.
Keaton S.
So
Cop.
yeah, it unfortunately ruined itself for having a Stargrove because man, it was a shoo-in until we learned that he wasn't Keaton.
Yeah. So
And it was like all these things are not the things you are singing are not about Abe Vigoda.
Yeah.
They are not about Abe Vigoda.
No. So nice job.
Yeah,
So yeah, no Stargrove, but man, if there's a
it's a hell of a song.
defenestration
It's a hell of a song though.
Oh sure, absolutely.
It's just about the wrong guy.
Yeah. This movie gets all the points for defenestrations, though.
Yes.
Yes, it does.
Defenestration quotient is high.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe the final tally was 4 defenestrations, which brings me to my rating
good.
of 4 jocks. I like this stupid movie. I know we just kind of trash it as far as like plot telling devices and the kind of the ludicrous nature of just getting from point A to point B, but Lee Majors being the right kind of I don't give a fuck, and Abe Vigoda eventually like coming back to life, and like
He's not dead.
he's not dead.
He's not dead.
Well, he comes back to life in the sense of like as soon as like he's like as soon as he puts on the ascot, really, it's like
Yeah.
I'm out of the home, I'm free, and I'm gonna go to Abe Vigoda 11.
It's better than Abe Go to Heaven, I guess.
Yeah, I mean the quips we don't even. I mean they fired so many that we couldn't remember many of them. That's how many that's how rapidly they were coming at points in time, especially out of Abe Vigoda's mouth. And this was tonally like what I really needed. So I don't know, maybe it's high, but that's my ratings up there. I'm done.
I'm at 3 jocks. I don't love it quite as much, but it's, we watch a lot of stuff that we're like, well, they don't make them like this anymore. And this is like a movie that cannot get made today whatsoever.
No.
Like an action movie with old people in it, like just doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's Space Cowboys, and that's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Or Old Dogs, or
yeah, but like just like old TV actor type guys and just cracking old man jokes and stuff like that. It's just
this is really the movie. Like,
Jokes that work.
If Danny Glover had an older partner in Lethal Weapon, it'd be this movie. Like Danny Glover's the young one, like got many weeks to retirement.
Yeah.
And there's some other guy that's like,
yeah. But it's a lot of fun, even though like the action scenes aren't particularly good, but there's a charm to it with all the one-liners and Abe Vigoda. Like this would be a very different movie without Abe Vigoda.
Oh, yeah.
That's for sure. Because Lee Majors isn't really doing much other than just like
It's not terribly charismatic either.
he feels like
just
he's on autopilot completely.
Yeah.
But somehow
Well,
that
he is a
works
robot.
just because Abe Vigoda is just throwing out one-liners constantly, and he's just already sick of that shit.
Yep.
So it kind of makes it better. But yeah, I'd say 3 jocks.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think it works really well, despite some lulls and some kind of general weirdness. Like just having Abe Vigoda for half the movie, just cracking shots off one after the other, I think is kind of outstanding. And I love the stupid, jangly pedal steel guitar car chase. Like it's not a quote unquote good car chase. But it is because it's entertaining. Like it's if you asked people who are car chase fans, they'd be like, "Nah, it's stupid." It's just,
I think they
doesn't
help
have a
sell it.
Lamborghini
Like,
or-
they're kind
But
of
yeah,
they're
they-
kind of doing that. Like, whoa!
Well, it helps that
we're
they're
in a
not
car
wearing
chase.
fucking seatbelts.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
everything was like, whoa, slow down.
But I mean, for that car chase, there's a lot of contact between the van and the car. I mean, they are
There is,
constantly
yeah.
slamming into each other. Which you
I mean, it's
couldn't
not-
do that with a car now because
Yeah.
one car would instantly be destroyed,
fall apart. Yeah.
Fiberglass would just dissolve.
I mean, it's not Bullet, but it's an entertaining car chase.
That's box quote right there. It's not Bullet.
It's not Bullet. In fact, it has nothing in common with it. But 3 jocks, pretty good.
Yeah,
I want to show this to some people.
yeah. I to be honest, I was sitting at a 2 for a while, 2 jocks, and then us talking about it bumped it up to 3 for me. It does have lulls in it. The plot is just. I mean, someone jotted some notes on a piece of paper and then set that piece of paper on fire, and then they were scrambling at the last minute to try to remember why they're going from point A to point B. And I would wager every police show ever in the history of television has done this at some point, which is just get cranky old man, partner him up with your lead character, and have them do things until they get to the end game.
Yeah.
Mannix and all these things probably did this show at least once a season. So it's nothing new. It's nothing exciting, but it's got enough to it that it's like, this is pretty okay. And there's some good jokes in it. And
it's pretty okay.
It's pretty
a rousing
okay.
recommendation from Chuck.
It's fun.
From the
you know?
makers of Chuck Fine comes, it's pretty okay.
Yeah, it is. It's Three Jocks okay.
It really is.
Which is actually fairly high rating.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we've talked about the Scop enough. Let's take a break.
Yes.
Scop.
We shall do that.
Keaton Scop.
Keaton Escop, Esquire.
Alex P. Keaton.
I'm of the Galveston Cops.
Alex P. Keaton Scop.
Man, it's warm in here. We forgot to turn the fan on.
Oh no!
Are you getting verklempt?
Talk amongst yourselves.
Papers. Cookie went straight to my sweat lines.
Keaton Scop. The red dog named Blue. So, you got any movies for the second half there, Chuckles? No? Really?
Yep.
Really? Why?
Because I don't want to pay attention to shit.
Oh,
Wrestling and video games, that's my life.
yeah. So, the Guitar Hero.
Mm-hmm.
Have you defeated your muscle memory yet? Can you play it?
There are... I will say that some of the charts don't make any goddamn sense whatsoever.
No, it sounds like a Guitar Hero
Like,
game.
I feel like I am hitting notes that don't exist. But then other times it's like, wow, this clicks in a way that feels like a guitar,
Mhm.
if that makes sense. And I'm
Yeah.
not trying to say like I'm playing guitar. I'm just
No.
It feels like this is the natural place where my hand would go playing
Yeah.
this video game guitar song.
Hmm.
So it does that sometimes, and that's really
Yeah.
interesting.
How is the organization like? What is the career like? Is it like old school? Here's 5 songs on this level. Here's
No. It is Forza Horizon Music Festival time.
Mhm.
You were in a big music festival. There are all these different bands playing the festival,
Mhm.
and then you do a set as that. You're given a schedule. Like here's the Sunset Festival or whatever, and then
Mhm.
here's the 8 bands that are playing. And then you go in order of the time of the festival. Like at 7 o'clock, this band plays, and you play as that band.
Mhm.
You go out, and then you do that set. And the set is seamless. Like you don't stop between songs, which keeps throwing me off because after a song ends, I'm like, oh shit, I can take a rest.
Yeah, that's not something I've been a fan of.
It's okay. I mean, it for the presentation, it works
Mhm.
because it's just a set. It's guys, girls, whatever playing a show.
Yeah.
So I've liked it so far. I played maybe I think a day of the festival, and then I went online and did a bunch of their streaming stuff.
Yeah. So the streaming stuff's like you just can come in mid song,
You can, yeah.
and it's just like you'll all of a sudden see notes streaming on the highway. And is there a gap between songs or?
There's 2 channels that are constantly streaming, and there's a schedule,
Yeah.
so that you know how they're grouped.
Yeah.
So you can join one of those, and then usually it joins mid-song. What
Okay.
happens after is that it gives you a results screen. So
Mhm.
there's about a minute between each song.
Okay.
If you click through the stats too quickly, it'll give you a brief promo for another channel.
It actually works
Mhm.
really well.
Like,
It does
at
smart stuff.
midnight,
It'll
these
control,
songs will be playing over
Philips
here.
Hue stuff and all the Wi-Fi connected stuff as well.
So there's all that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can go in and the entire catalog of what's streaming is available on a song-by-song basis.
Yeah.
But you have to sell your coins for Guitar Hero money.
Yeah. The whole
There's a weird. I haven't. There's been not even close to me thinking I have to put real money in it.
okay,
Because I have more than enough of what I need to do anything.
yeah, but it's
So-
that whole obfuscate it behind like 3 different levels of
But
currency,
yeah, it's 3 or 4
like
levels of-
separate it from being real money and just think of it as tokens.
It's like coins to cash and then cash to real money. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's strange. But I mean, like there's a party pass basically, which is like $6 for 24-hour access to everything,
yeah.
which is basically like all the karaoke things would do. That's smart. You know, $6 is not bad for access to everything. If
Is it 24 hours in a row or like 24 hours of your own time?
It's
No,
probably you start
in a
playing, like you pay for it, and then you've got 24 hours.
It is basically designed like if you're having a party and having people over and
Yeah,
they just
okay.
want to play whatever.
Yeah.
You give them $6
Yeah,
and
I guess
it
I'm as part of
unlocks
that, so
everything
I-
for you.
That's probably worth $6 once in a while.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They have not priced it extreme out of the realm of
Yeah.
common sense. So, and
That's-
they are constantly throwing coins at you so that you. I haven't had to come close to paying for anything yet.
Mm-hmm.
So like the career gives you coins, the streaming gives you coins, and there's a whole bunch of like Call of Duty type bullshit in it too because you unlock like
You have kill streaks or
no, but I mean
unlock a
there's like
UAV?
there's flags for the leaderboard screen, like badges basically. So there's a bunch of those.
So you can prestige.
yeah, you can get different note highways. So if you want like a themed,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
mine has an Avenged
Note
Sevenfold
highways.
highway because I pre-ordered.
Why did
job,
you choose
Chuck.
that?
I didn't unlock it; it's just there. I haven't used it.
Oh, okay.
Good.
Yeah.
It seems like a bonus you would get for not pre-ordering it. Like you should have like probably not. You should have
The
pre-ordered.
bonus you should get for pre-ordering
I-
it is that you don't have to have it.
I tried
It's
to
like,
opt
"Aha,
out, but it's just there. They're
We-
just like, we know you pre-ordered.
you pre-ordered
I'm like,
it, so we removed the Avenged Sevenfold
Yeah.
thing, everything from your game.
That would be great.
Your game is 10 times better now.
no, I believe it's
also
sevenfold better.
yes. I also understand that in one of these rhythm music games there is a Skrillex song.
Yes, I played it
That would be in Guitar Hero.
Why is there a Skrillex song in a guitar game?
because this one band that you play as is more of a rap band.
but
Their set is like
is there
Skrillex and Eminem, and
is there guitaring Skrillex-y? Like, is there guitaring in a Skrillex song?
there's a sample of guitar and some other
Oh,
instruments that are mapped to
Yeah. How many
Oh.
difficulties are there?
5.
74.
5.
Yeah.
So there's like beginner, medium, hard.
They're called-
expert, super expert.
They're called weird, dumb things. Like I can't. There's no logical
like opening band and
kind of yeah.
Indie.
They're not really
Indie darling.
intuitive. Like the middle one is regular, which is what I'm playing on, and it's weird because like when you start the game, it throws you into a set immediately, and then it decides what difficulty you are.
Yeah.
Like the first song, you'll see the speed increasing and decreasing as you suck or play well.
Yeah.
So by the end, it's like, okay, this is the level you should probably play on to have a good time. So,
Okay. I like games that do that.
It's, I mean, it's you can
Hey.
tell it's being made by a multi-million-dollar corporation because it is slick.
Hey, this isn't gaming podcast night.
I know.
Yeah, this is
just talking, man.
Bantering.
Oh,
middle
It's
half.
Patreon content.
Yeah, people want to know.
Yeah. I was just curious about it, but
all right.
I may have to borrow it from you at some point once you're sick of it. But
Well, if you want to come over for wrestling, I was gonna
Yeah.
bring it over early.
Pre-wrestling, Guitar Heroing.
when is wrestling?
Sunday.
Sunday.
Sunday is my anniversary.
So
Well,
perfect
that's
time
not
to come
all
over.
far-
Best
that's not
time.
I
all
will
fault
not
here.
be in town. Sorry.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll bring it for the next BMFcast.
Yeah, just move your anniversary.
Spoken like a man that is not married.
Yeah.
No, spoken like a
No.
joke that you can't change the calendar,
I know.
despite what day it is.
Leopard can't change spots.
So I have one movie for the second half.
0.
I have one movie for the second half.
One.
All right. And let me check the.
I saw this
One
new
penny.
one in the theater.
Ooh, good
a
job.
theatre movie.
Theatre. I'll just sit over here.
In the theatre. Ooh, look at
Shaw movie
in my
in the
flag.
theatre.
I have my Star Wars tickets. It's in the flag emails.
As do I.
Yep.
Emails.
Along with my AT&T Uverse equipment return instructions.
Throw it into the fucking ocean because Uverse is garbage.
Yeah, it is. But you just take it to the UPS store and they do everything for you.
That's nice.
Yeah,
that's nice.
At least that's one thing I'll give AT&T credit for. They made it real easy to quit them.
I wish I could quit you.
Yeah,
all right.
You can.
Yeah, they didn't even fight
with
me.
new
Here are the
AT&T
steps.
Uverse
They weren't
UPS
like, no,
store.
I still love you. But you. It's like, no, we have a child together. No, none of that.
I wish I could
they're
quit
just,
you.
They're just
I
like,
don't want your life.
yeah. I was just like, your speed sucks, and I have the fastest speed you offer in my area. The guy's like, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, well, here.
You have bested me.
Yeah, what day you want to shut it off? I'm like, 19th. Sure, let's do this.
I was trying to sign up when I moved into my new place a couple years ago, and they had so I went from a not great part of town, so Springfield. They had I had the best service I could get there was 6 megs down, and I moved to my new place. And I'm like, so what's the highest speed that you offer in my area? And the guy's like, oh, well, we have Uverse over there. And I'm like, okay, what's the highest speed that you offer with Uverse? And they're like, oh, it's 3 megs down.
Ooh.
And I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
okay, well, how much is that? And he's like, oh, well, it's only 3 times the price you're paying now. And I'm like, oh, really?
Thank you.
And I'm like, that's half the speed for 3 times the price. And Comcast has 10 times that speed
They have
for.
fast.
Granted, it's still 4 times the price, but the guy's like, yeah, I see your point.
I'm going from 18 down to 75, and I'm paying $7 more a month.
Yeah, that's.
However, if I can ever get them to fucking install it in my house.
There you go. You should have bought a cable-ready house.
It was.
I did, and then DirecTV cut all the lines and took them all.
Fucking DirecTV.
Oh, there's your problem right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. There's your problem.
Yeah. At my old condo, Comcast was the only thing you were allowed to have, no matter what. They had built into the contract. You had to have Comcast. You could not. AT&T, we called them. They're like, we don't show your address on the map. And I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure my address exists. They're like, yeah, well, we'll have to get back to you.
We beg to differ, sir.
And they're like, listen,
Actually,
you're not a computer, and the computer has never lied to me. So, yeah.
Alexa, Simon says Comcast is assholes.
Wow, Alexa beeps out stuff.
I had no problem saying that, did you?
Yeah.
It was like that one was already pre-programmed. Yeah, we got this one.
Yep. All right, but yeah, one movie.
All right.
And then we just got a couple emails.
One movie.
Okay.
We're in.
One movie for me,
One movie for me.
one for him.
I guess, do we talk about late trailer, or do we...
I have watched it.
You haven't?
Nope.
Oh, wow.
Are
Are you done with trailers for that movie until you
Yes.
see it? Okay.
If it's on in the theater, and I'm seeing something else, I'm not going to leave the theater.
I'll be
or
honest.
anything.
I just talk about it right now because I don't really want to.
Do we want to be back?
No, I'm just saying. Let's just talk about it, banter about it now. I honestly wasn't going to watch the trailer, except everyone around me at my office was talking about it. So I was like, do I watch it or have campfire stories of the trailer? Because I think that was worse. Because then it became a case of well, I'm also going to watch it because I'm going to put my headphones on instead of listening to their geek conjecture.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, fine, just shut the fuck up. I'll watch the trailer.
yeah. It's easier to avoid the discussion about it after you know what's being discussed.
Right.
Yeah.
Because your imagination runs wild when you see someone say, this masked figure does this thing. And you're like, whoa.
Yeah, I've seen a few things. People are like, is that Boba Fett in there? And I'm yeah, whatever, guys.
I don't even... Well, I've come across a couple of the, stills and we cut some parts out. We cut these parts together, which are obviously related to make, so you can see the whole thing at once. I'm like, yeah, I put that together by
Guess what?
watching it.
Guess when I can see the whole thing at once?
Yeah.
December 17th. Thanks.
But
I'll just
I
say
liked
the only
the
thing I did like Harlow did to give in and watch it because too many people were talking about it. The only thing I'll say about it is, and maybe this will change, but everything about the bad guy's appearance and sound seems like a temp track and temporary cut. It's weird.
it almost sounds like
It's entirely possible. I mean, do you remember the original Phantom Menace trailer?
Oh, sure.
Where they had Keira Knightley dubbing every Natalie Portman line
Yeah.
in the trailer?
Yeah.
And then it wasn't in the movie?
Right.
Or vice versa. No, it was vice versa. She was doing, yeah. Okay, when she was doing Queen Amidala in the proper movie, it was Keira Knightley dubbing her.
Because her voice was deeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were also trying to do, like, I have this theory about, like, in the Star Wars universe, it's like an unspoken thing that when people are doing proper trade negotiations or whenever they're being like respectful and proper etiquette, they all have British accents because Princess Leia does in the beginning too. She's like, "Governor talking, I should have recognized your stench," and then like later it's just like, "I'm Princess Leia."
Yeah, good job, laser brain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, I'm
obviously,
just
you
saying,
talk differently when you're talking to the boss than when you're.
I don't suddenly have a British
I
accent.
do, actually.
I'm like, "Hello, sir. Good night."
Look at all chimney sweeps.
The
Good
VP
morning,
of,
sir. I smelled your stench from a mile away.
The VP of our department thinks I'm from Devonshire.
What?
Yeah, that's how committed I am to my accent. you
Oh,
see.
okay. Yeah, sure.
That's insane.
All right, we ready for a second half?
Yes, let's please do that. Let's cover up Chuck.
So run by Badooing.
All right, we'll go back.
Hey,
Hey!
BMFcast.
Hey.
It's the second half.
Second half time.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's where we talk about movies.
It
Yep.
is that time.
As opposed to the other rest of the podcast.
I'm going to guess that Harlow has the newest movie to discuss.
It's pretty new.
Yeah.
I saw Crimson Peak.
Ooh. Peaky Crimsons.
Yeah. I'll do my standard, like, if you don't want spoilers, stop listening, but I'm going to go ahead and say, before you stop listening, I would recommend not seeing this movie.
Aw.
Possibly ever, but definitely not a theater experience.
Wow.
Well, I mean, don't spoil it. Spoil it.
I'm not going to spoil it, but I mean, it's, like, what they pitch to you in the trailers is, like, not what the movie is. And you've probably possibly already heard this. Like, it's really not a ghost story. It is a gothic love story with some twisty, evil people shenanigans that ghosts are just kind of there to, like, be foreboding and warn you. Like, they are never the crux of, like, why things are creepy or weird or anything like that. They're almost kind of like, be careful, like, don't go there, girlfriend,
That's the current trend in ghost stories now.
And like there's so many times like this movie like starts to ramp up and do something really cool, and they're like, that's a really nice touch, and then it just squanders it and like goes away from that. And like it's one of those movies. It's like the anti-M. Night Shyamalan movie, which sounds like a good thing, but it's like it's one of those things like the first time you meet characters and you assume something about them, you are absolutely right about everything you assume the first time you meet somebody. Like, there is literally nothing remotely twisty in this movie at all. Like,
Okay.
there's just a couple of scenes that are interesting and a couple of ideas that are kind of interesting, but, like, it all feels like half-thought out things. Like, there's just not a lot of point to this movie that I found. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe someone else is like, oh, I love this. It tickled that, thing for proper, Victorian style romance
Hammer
thing.
horror stuff.
Yeah. Is that
What?
what people are saying?
Some, yeah.
Hammer?
I didn't get
What?
that at all out of it, but I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know.
That's what I heard, man.
I guess
I ain't seen it.
that kind of might make sense, but I don't know. Those seem more interesting. Like this one, just visually, like there's one effect in it that I guess was supposed to be scary, but ended up actually being kind of funny. Like I was actually finding myself like stifling a laugh when it was supposed to be scary because I was like, "What? That's a weird choice for a way that ghost is acting."
yeah.
Stop being weird, ghost.
But I've also come I think this might be the first movie I've seen all the way through with I don't even know how to say her name, Mia Wash.
Wallace.
No, not Mrs. Mia Wallace.
Okay.
Mia Wash.
Waskowska.
Waskowska. Yeah. I think it's the first movie I've ever seen with her. And I don't think I like her. Like I mean, it's like both as an actress and like there's something about her that's like kind of strange and off-putting, like in her appearance.
Unsettling?
A little like
Is it the fact that you can't pronounce her name?
that might be it.
Probably
It's
it.
entirely possibly that's it. But no, she's
That
like
does bother people.
she has like
the judicial system.
I don't say this like a bad way, but it's like she like several times in movies it seems like she's supposed to be portrayed as like oh, look at how, like, everyone's fawning over her. Like, look at how gorgeous she is, and she's the talk of the town and everything. And she, like, has this weird kind of, like, almost Martha Plimpton thing going on with her. Like, where it's like, really? Like, her? Like, I don't know. She's just kind of, like, plain Jane. I mean, they present her smart. She's an intelligent, young lady in this, but it's like, I don't know. There's just something, like, off-putting about her presence on screen.
Kind of like the whole Dark Knight fighting over Droopy thing.
A little bit, yeah. A little bit. She's got. I mean, like, but Maggie Gyllenhaal actually has like a little charisma to her. Like, I mean, I know
This
she's
is true, yeah.
she's a little like odd looking, but she like has some charisma, and like this girl just like to me has zero. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like for years I think I was confusing her with the Hannah girl. Again, another weird name. Soressa Ronan or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
You're just not doing. You're picking the wrong names.
I do know how to say her name.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about how you say it.
Sort of the judicial system.
Yeah, okay. No, for years I've confused the two of them, but like I've realized now, like now that I've seen a movie with each of them, like I remember her. I can't say her name. I remember the Hannah girl. Like she's good. Like she's been good in movies, and like I just not finding it with this other girl. Like I'm not trying to be mean to her. Just like something about her is just like not
Doesn't click.
star
with it.
material. Like she just doesn't have a thing. Like it's just not. She doesn't have what they say. It.
She doesn't have that.
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
He hasn't got it.
Dorothy Gish. Lillian's sister.
Vashakovska.
Vashakovska? Oh, what'd you do? Find a pronunciation?
Well, check your shit out.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
You learned something.
Just so you.
Waskowska.
Just
All right. Well, tell me how to tell me how to pronounce the Hannah girl's first name, because her last name's like Ronan, and it's fairly easy. It's probably like Ronan.
Yes.
What's she from again?
Hannah or Atonement.
No.
Or, yeah.
Emojin Poots.
Yeah, so I know how to say Emojin Poots.
Emojin Poots.
Don't worry about that. I got that.
It's pronounced Keira Knightley.
My biggest fear is that I'm going to meet
Emojin
and
Poots.
just, oh my god, it's Emojin
Oh,
Poots.
I'd be okay with that. I think I could fumble my way through her name.
Poots.
Emmy Poots.
Yeah, you just you just point at her and go Poots.
Hey, Poots.
Yo,
Right.
Poots.
Back in time.
Yeah.
And she'd
But
be
yeah.
like, actually, it's Pwats.
Do we have a pronunciation?
Emoji. Poets.
Poets.
Poets. Saoirse.
Saoirse?
Yeah.
Saoirse. Well, that's way
Yeah,
easier
that
than it
one's
looks like.
Fucked up. It's Gaelic.
Okay, well, I'm just saying that's way
Yeah,
that's a
get
way
your shit
easier.
together,
That's a way
Gaelic.
easier name to say once you hear it
Yeah.
than well, how do you still? I already lost.
I was just giving you shit because you had two names in a row that you
I
had
know,
trouble with.
but that's probably why I've somehow amalgamated the two into
Saoirse.
one. Saoirse. She's a way better actress. But no, the last thing for people that care, which may be at least one person in the room, there's some dog peril. Too.
Knock it off with the dog peril.
Oh
people.
no.
Just throwing that out there. Just
Please
it
don't
feels
do that.
feels like a thing I should point out.
Well, I will say this. That helped unsell my wife on seeing it because she was like, man, we really need to go see that. And I was like, here's the deal.
About that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Isn't there a
Well, that's a
website
bummer.
like a
oh yeah, doesthedogdie.com.
Yep.
But newer stuff doesn't tend to be updated right away. It takes them a little while to vet all the answers that they
Sort of
get.
like
well, I'm
that
pretty
Stay
sure
or
I
Go.
came back day after because I saw it like the Thursday night thing. And I was like, yeah, just FYI, dog peril.
Are you updating? Are you doing your civic duty and updating doesthedogdie.com?
I guess I should.
You
Apparently,
should.
It's crowdsourced.
Okay, then I'll get on it.
You should help.
I will help with the dog peril.
Thanks.
I think that would be a better website name, by the way.
Dogperil.com.
Yeah, dogperil.com.
I don't know. Like,
I
like,
own dogperil.com
does the
and
dog,
it's not.
Well, no.
Doesthedogdie.com. It's pretty
It's
straightforward.
catchy, but it's also like makes you think, oh, there are dead dogs. Like dog peril is just like, oh,
Yeah, well, I hate to tell you this. Blue from tonight's movie, totally dead.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, the dog's dead.
well,
100% dead.
yes.
That dog-
100% on
all
a farm.
I'm going to
somewhere.
go with
all dogs. have
all
gone to
dogs
heaven.
that we have watched from 1990 are in fact dead.
100%.
100%
Actually,
mortality.
spoiler
rate.
alert: all dogs are dead.
If
They're
there's
just
any,
ghosts.
if there were any birds in any of the movies, they're probably still
all
alive
ghosts.
because birds like live fucking forever in their
no,
assholes.
only the shitty birds.
Yeah, they're assholes.
The
and They
sherds?
just keep
Yes.
living.
Only the
Shitty
fucking
birds.
annoying birds
Yeah.
live forever.
Shitty birds.
Shit birds.
Birds.
Yeah, so that's Crimson
Shit
Peak.
birds.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
shit birds.
So speaking of
Shit
death,
king.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I watched a movie from Chuck's 31 and 31 series from last year. One of his recommendations called Dead and Buried
Oh yeah.
from the writers of Alien. which is weird, but it's one where his review basically says nothing about the movie, which is exactly how it should be.
Yeah.
Because that is a really, really good movie. Like, it's really well constructed. It is tense as fuck, like, throughout, because you are left so much in the dark about what's going on that it enhances it that much more. And by the end, it's almost like a Twilight Zone episode, because it's very much like, here's this self-contained thing with a beginning, a middle, and a very distinct end. And there's like no, well, let's see what happens in the sequel type stuff, which is like almost what we're conditioned to have these days, no matter what the movie is. Like, you're not allowed to make a movie that's like, here's this story and this story's over.
Yeah.
And it's sad to say that's refreshing these days, but it kind of is. And it's just one of those movies that, like, I might have, if I had stumbled on this like in 1990 or whatever, just on like watching TV and flipping through channels, and it was just on one weekend, minus the nudity and other stuff that's in it, but it just would have been like, what the hell is this? But I don't want to stop watching this.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
There's nothing like it.
yeah, and it is like off the charts fucked. Like
You were
where-
IMing me as you were watching it, just like,
Yeah.
this movie is fucked.
yeah, like where it ends up is totally fucked.
Yeah.
Like just the implications of so much stuff that's been happening is just fucked. But yeah, it's really solid, and it's one of those movies that has like completely fallen through the cracks.
Yeah.
Like, you are the only person I've ever heard talk about it.
And I'd never heard of it before. I don't even remember how it came to my attention, but like, I think I was just looking at the filmography of the Alien guys, because I knew they'd done like Return of the Living Dead and Alien and stuff like that, and I was like, wait, what's this?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah, that feels like the definition of one of those hidden gems.
yes,
Like,
that's
I don't even know how that's on Blu-ray right now.
exactly. It seems like something that shouldn't have made it past VHS. It should be one of those movies that just like lost. Like, whoever held the rights to it, good on them for getting that thing out there on disc and stuff. But yeah, that's one of the movies. That's why I keep doing that, is to find that kind of thing,
Yeah.
because that movie's just great, just fantastic.
Yeah, and there are some very like shockingly violent scenes in that. Like, you are not expecting the level of violence and the level of effects
Yeah,
that they do.
it
Though,
was Stan Winston, right?
yeah, all but one of them.
Right.
The one later on that looks bad.
Yes.
Apparently, it was a reshoot.
Yeah.
That he was not able to do.
Yeah.
Because he had already been booked up for other stuff. But yeah, like there's some like, apparently one is a dummy that you just you don't think that.
Yeah.
And because of the way that scene plays out, you're like, oh, fuck. Like, they just killed that guy.
Yep.
Like that person
Yes.
died.
Yep.
That human being was killed to make this movie.
Yep.
So, yeah. But it's a great movie. Find it. Dead and Buried.
And it's
Good.
got a lot of people in it.
Yeah.
Oh, I like people in movies.
Yeah, but I mean, it's got a lot of people, like very young performances of people that you know. It's
Like-
one of those things.
Aaron Pierce from 24.
Yeah.
With hair.
Yes.
It's insane.
So it's the can't hardly wait of current gen comedians.
Something like
Where
that,
you're
yeah.
Oh, hey, there's that person in the crowd. There's
Right.
another person in the crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah. But good recommendation, Chuck. Nice job.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Good job, Chuck.
Thanks for loaning it to me as
Sure,
well.
no problem.
So, check that movie out, people.
Yeah. BJ,
Yes,
did you watch anything?
I did.
What did you watch?
I watched Old Boy,
The original or the new one?
the original. Yeah,
Okay.
not
okay.
the remake.
Okay,
Not
good.
the Spike Lee joint?
No,
Actually, I've heard the new one is really good. I mean, if you haven't seen it's good that you watched the original one. Let's
Yeah,
say, let's
well,
not shit on the new one because
that's.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't want to see the new one without having seen the original first.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And I was
Speaking of off the charts fucked.
fuck.
Yeah.
So I was looking for something to watch while I waited for laundry to complete, and I'm like, that'll be about 2 hours. That's about the right amount of
should
time.
have watched My Beautiful Laundrette.
Your what?
Does anyone kill a bunch of people in a hallway with a hammer in My Beautiful Laundrette?
I don't think it was a hallway or a hammer or killing. No.
Then no.
not.
Then BJ made the
I
right
made
choice.
the right choice.
BJ.
So yeah, a bunch of dudes get the fuck beaten out of them with a hammer in a hallway. Is the takeaway, the main takeaway from that movie. The second is something that if you haven't seen it, I'm not going to talk about because it's the entire plot of the movie and it's spoilerific, but it is fucked up.
Yeah.
It is really fucked up. Like,
that's one, like, they had to change it for the US, and that's why I want to see the US one, because they wouldn't possibly do that.
would they?
I don't think so.
I don't know. Have either of you seen the new one?
Not yet.
Chuck?
No.
I don't.
Yeah.
Would they do that?
I don't know. I know they have changed some things. I don't know what.
Now here's the weird
I heard
thing.
that- Somebody- I
but
heard
that
this-
particular thing has to have been changed.
You think?
Do you want to know the weirdest thing about the remake? Before Spike Lee was on board with it, Spielberg was talking about making it at one point in
I
time.
remember that, yeah.
Oh, a heartwarming tale of
yeah.
beating the piss out of eight
I'm
dudes in a
just
hallway
saying, like that is
with a fucking
one
hammer.
of the weirdest like links ever. Where it was like, I want to make Old Boy. And it's like,
Why?
have you lost your damn? I mean,
Yeah.
granted, if like he does it with the precision of like the opening scene of Saving Private Ryan, perhaps, but you know,
Oh yeah, can you imagine the hallway scene? Like
but
Yeah,
otherwise,
but I hate to say, like, talking, like, everyone talks about the hallway scene, but it's like really the only action scene in the movie for the most
it is,
part.
and like people told me, I've seen stuff about it a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought that it was going to be a lot more of that, life is cheap in Southeast Asia sort of storytelling, as opposed to the life is depressing as fuck in Southeast Asia sort of storytelling. So I was a little bit confused. Like, there was a light air of confusion the entire time I'm watching it. I'm like,
Yeah.
when's this gonna get fucking badass? When's this guy just gonna beat the fuck out of everyone forever?
Yeah.
And he only beats the fuck out of everyone for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, but then
That's a really good scene though. Like
Yeah.
that's really well shot. Was that one take?
I'm pretty sure, yes.
Like, it looked
If
like
I
it was just
remember
the camera
correctly.
just
It's been like 10 years since I've seen
rolling
it.
back and forth on the dolly for
But-
a minute and a half
Yeah.
of ownage.
The thing, yeah, that you remember, people remember that, but I always remember the ending way, way, way more. Like the ending for me just came in and just erased that scene from my memory
Yeah,
for the most part. Now that I go back, I'm
because
like,
the
oh,
ending
yeah.
is so fucked.
Yeah.
Like, it is so. It was the last like piece of consumer content I was going to consume before bed, and I'm like,
Nice.
no way, man. I cannot end my night on this. I have to so like I was like I needed something to completely distract myself, so I started.
so you
like,
watch Chinatown.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's Chinatown, Jake. So like I know not a video game podcast, but I started playing Rocket League, and I'm like just sitting there, just like,
All joy had been sucked out of your life.
not even Rocket League can make me feel whole again. I'm just gonna have to hope that the internet has something nice for me to read before I go to bed. But man, you should really watch that movie if you have a strong constitution. And somebody in the live chat mentioned one particular thing that will probably haunt me for a while, which is the teeth. There's some cruelty to dental work in that movie as well that is painful to watch. And there's some other stuff. There's other stuff that's really cruel that you sort of expect them to show. The hand, like, you expect them to show that, but they don't. They just, let you sort of think about what happened.
Which is usually worse.
Yeah, and god damn that, like, there are certain parallels in this that I can draw to, at least for, like, I'm not even gonna go there, because I think that could potentially,
Yeah, don't get spoilery.
could potentially. But there's some parallels to another disturbing movie that I've seen that I could draw as far as sort of attitudes towards.
Are you going to say a
fucked
Serbian
upness.
film?
I was going to, but then I decided not to.
Okay,
for
good.
a specific reason, and then you said it.
All right.
I hope not very many people have seen that movie.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I hope not. But I know enough people
Don't
kind of
do
know
it.
what's up with Serbian film that, not direct parallels, but just similar in the way that they're just full force going for fucked upness, sort of not afraid to make the viewer incredibly uncomfortable, with certain concepts. So, but yeah, if you have strong constitution, then watch it. It is, I would call it a good movie. I'm glad I watched it, but it's fucked up in a strong way.
All right. So,
Oh boy, the movie.
Yeah. So you guys want
That's
some
my box
emails?
quote. Sure.
I would love some.
You want to get
emails.
cheered up with emails?
Need so
All right.
much cheer.
First one up's from Ben, who writes about movie prequels. And he said, just thought you guys might like this article in case you haven't seen it. It presents one of the best arguments against prequels I've read yet. Thanks, Ben. And he sent us a link to the Rolling Stone article, Are Prequels Killing Movie Franchises?, which was brought on by the Die Hard Year One announcement. That and it pretty much the gist of the article is that it's like, so the prequels become this thing that just it's the analogy he uses is that the prequel is not the Hail Mary pass that's going to save the game. The prequel is like the score you make after you're already down 50 points and you have no hope
Garbage
of coming
time.
back. Yeah, it's like a garbage time points, and yeah, I mean it makes a good argument that once you've gone there, your franchise is dead.
Right. Well,
Generally speaking,
but yeah,
The game's already over.
Die Hard died like 4 years ago or whatever it was
Yeah.
when that shitty one came out.
Yeah.
3 years ago
Either
maybe.
either you're padding your stats or you're already so far behind that you have nothing to lose.
yeah, and I mean we've talked some, like especially when the Hobbit stuff came up, that prequels essentially don't matter because you know who lives and dies by the time you get there. And
I will say this, that is not always, like, who lives and dies is not always the important thing about a story.
There's
Like-
sometimes that point A to point B still can be interesting.
Right. How you get there, like, it's not the destination, it's the journey is the argument that I make against that. So it's not always that every time you make a prequel it's going to be bad, or every time you tell an origin story it's going to be bad.
Right.
There are a lot of times like that book series will go back and tell you about where something came from, and that doesn't,
The thing is, like, the way prequels work, and the funny thing is like, there has been one person that's been responsible for the best and probably the worst examples therein, and that is George Lucas. Because everything they've done that's quote-unquote prequel in the Indiana Jones universe is actually quite brilliant. I mean, say what you will about the Temple of Doom, but most people forget it's a prequel to Raiders of the Lost Ark, just in the timeline. I'm not saying the quality of the movie, but like the River Phoenix stuff in Last Crusade is really good, and the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles is excellent. And the thing that works with it is like, you need somebody that just has adventures. You can't just you can't specifically say, I need someone. The thing you can't do about a prequel is you can't say, I need to bridge the time from here and it needs to end at the beginning or close to the beginning of the thing before. It needs to just be somebody that can have some adventures during a period of time. And you're like, oh, I wonder what they were doing and what they were like. I know John McClane's badass now, but what was he doing when he was 20 years old and then like just fresh out of the academy?
Yeah. Like,
which is the funny thing. It doesn't sound like he would have been doing a whole lot because like. Nakatomi Plaza was like, what the fuck am I in? So, like, if they make it even remotely ridiculous, people are going to be like, then why was he so, like, blown away by what was going on in Nakatomi Plaza?
Yeah.
You've got to undercut it, otherwise you've broken the
and
mythos.
you need to I think you need to do a thing that is not like John McClane, the super cop.
Right.
It needs to be John McClane,
Solving a case.
Solving a case, yeah. Like, it's him just banging his head against the wall.
Problem.
As a
Your
detective.
problem with that is twofold. It's that
People expect.
well, you can't do a
Super Cop John
prequel
McClane.
where it's Die Hard John McClane because that doesn't make sense because
Right.
his reaction was, obviously this is the first time anything like this has ever happened to me.
Right.
The other thing is that you can't then make a regular movie about John McClane because people are going to it like, yeah, fuck yeah, Die Hard. Let's do Die Hard things, not do, Law and Order. What the hell is this?
Yeah.
Right.
John McClane working on a missing persons case.
Again, say what you will about the quality of the individual movie, but like I thought it was fine when they did like the Jack Ryan thing with Chris Pine, because like Jack Ryan has a kind of a long history of crazy things happening, and like even when you saw him. I guess when you see him in like Hunt for October, he's like, I'm just an analyst. What am I doing on this? So like when you see him before that, it's like if he's been on some adventures, it doesn't make sense for you to get to like the Hunt for October where like I'm just a nerdy guy.
The Jack Ryan timeline has never been well established.
Because there's also some of All Fears. I know it doesn't. A lot of it doesn't.
The
make
movie,
sense.
they do a lot of crazy things with the movie universe.
But like that's why like you can do. I mean, granted, it's not a direct tie into anything, but you can do something like Batman Begins because Batman's just a man who has adventures. And you can tell his origin over again, and things like that work. But you can't do like The Hobbit is like. It needs to lead into and / we've got to make references to things that people wouldn't know.
And that's the thing. The Hobbit doesn't need to be a lead-in.
Yeah.
The Hobbit stands on its own as a story.
It should have stood on its own as one single movie, maybe two.
Yeah,
if people can't handle a 3.5 hour movie.
It's a story by itself, and then and that's the thing. Like, generally, if you write a story. So you've got this big, cool story of these big, cool things that happened to this person. Generally, the shit that happened before that is so uninteresting that it doesn't matter. If it did matter, we would have made the story about that. Yeah. Or we would have included that in the first story. So,
like I said,
unless you have something epic enough to lead into that, then there's no sense in telling that story.
Yeah, and the only time it really works is when you begin to focus on characters that you've killed off later and you can't use, because like we talked about Fast Five, one of our favorite movies. That's a prequel, and it's a prequel because they wanted Han in that movie, and that's why that works. And that's generally a lot of times the best ones are the ones where like, well, we killed this guy off, but people want more of that guy, and that's why. And the whole Fast and Furious universe, they are kind of like, we're just doing adventures.
Yeah.
There's continuity, but it's not like. This is the most important thing, is this through line.
Well, and then Fast 5 is not even really a prequel. They just fucked with the timeline a little bit. They just moved us around in the timeline to show us another adventure.
Right. Yeah, but the problem is you can't do you can't have a prequel to something where the first movie or the beginning of the character is an origin to them, where everything that is experiencing to them is a new and fantastical thing, and then you cannot go back and do a prequel to that because. Then if anything interesting happens to them, it invalidates the first one.
Well, yeah, Die Hard is just a terrible example of a movie trying to make a prequel out of.
Exactly,
like it just doesn't work because it's Die Hard.
It's like if the end of the Star Wars movie had like a slightly younger Luke Skywalker. It's like this was the first time he went to Tashi Station and did get some power converters.
Well, yeah,
isn't that exciting?
And that's the problem too, is trying to cram references to everything.
Yeah, you don't need to just hang up a sign in every scene that says this is. You remember this from the movie that comes later? Remember this from the movie that comes later?
Yeah, like if they made the BMFcast movie where it's like we walked into a theater and Chuck was walking out and we didn't even know it, that sort of thing. 10 years ago.
But Indiana Jones works because the very first time you see Indiana Jones, he has lived a lifetime of adventures.
Sure.
And you're like, well, what has he been doing his whole life?
I never even knew what the timeline was for those movies.
Yeah. It goes River Phoenix stuff, Temple of Doom, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
But I mean, like, if you weren't privy to the behind the scenes hype for Temple of Doom and just weren't paying attention to the stamped on date at the beginning, there's no mention of. There's no way to know. Because like he's never in class in that movie. That doesn't have that formula of the rest of them. He's just off somewhere on sabbatical.
Continuing adventures of Indiana Jones.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can do a prequel or an episodic thing. Yeah. I won't say it's episodic, of a guy who's experienced a lot of things. And if you want to, maybe someday down the line, there's a Sherlock Holmes, prequel where it's like, how did he actually first start solving crimes?
Young Sherlock Holmes.
Saying. There's something like that. You can eventually get to that point where it's like, okay, now you can't do a prequel to that. That is literally the first story ever told because he was,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and even that, like, Sherlock Holmes isn't interesting because he's learning how to be Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes is interesting because he is Sherlock Holmes, a fully formed sort of.
Right, but
genius.
when you've done 30 tales of him, it might be an interesting thing to go. How did he first get here?
Well, Arthur Conan Doyle didn't fucking bother with that. So
That's why it's all public domain now.
I'm just pointing that out. It works with a character who's seen some shit.
Well, and it also doesn't work nowadays with prequels because you look at the ones especially that don't work are the ones like Star Wars and The Hobbit, where it's like we got to make multiple movies set in this timeline and then get to the other, and skip the other one.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't it doesn't work when you're trying to cram as many stories as you can in before you get to the point that everyone knows where things start.
But see, I'm still not poo-pooing the new trilogy of Star Wars movies, but I'm infinitely more interested in these one-off tale movies that are coming in between.
The fact that those are going to happen,
like Rogue One, sounds
fascinating.
awesome.
Yeah, Rogue One sounds
because it's
amazing.
like you can live in the timeline we're all infinitely familiar with, and maybe
Tell me more stories from
Maybe
there.
somebody shows up, but it's just like the thing that was happening that you heard about is now you're going to see all of the things that made it happen, and like that's fascinating.
And not just like okay, well, here's a battle. Show me some fascinating shit. Show me something that turned the tide of a part of the war. Make it interesting.
That seems like so. I mean, that like when they were like talking about that, I was like, yes, please do that. Like, I'm actually almost angry that they're doing the new trilogy every 2 years. Like to me, it feels like at this point it needs to be every 3, just because that's tradition. We've done it for 6 movies already.
Yeah.
So like, plus it would give more time to let's do 2 little anthology things in between each one because these sound so much more interesting to me. Not the idea of like everyone's like, oh, make a Boba Fett movie. Fuck that. I don't give a shit. Like I don't give a shit about a Boba Fett movie. I don't want to see a young Han Solo movie. I mean, I don't want any of those. I just want something in the Star Wars universe.
I don't know. Han Solo's had adventures.
If they do it right and they cast it right, I wouldn't mind seeing the story of like how he and Chewie met. When Han met Chewie,
it was a
when Harry met Sally, when Harry met Hani.
When Harry met Solo.
Yeah.
Just real quick, like on a smaller scale, like, and I know this is a much smaller scale and doesn't necessarily apply, but from a storytelling standpoint, I wish more people would look at it as the way to do a prequel, because Better Call Saul is the breaking of all the things you're worried about a prequel doing, which is sucking and being too referential and it just pandering to the audience that liked the later, more popular thing. It creates its own kind of, for lack of a better word, mythology. It creates its own like set of characters who weren't involved in the next thing. And it also gives a compelling origin story without just hitting you over the head with, and this is how this happened, and this is why this is this. And
because when it starts, Saul is basically a completely different character.
Yeah.
In almost every single way, including his name.
Yes.
And it's
he's just really not that guy.
Yeah, and the whole point of watching the show is to see how he became that guy.
Right.
What fucked up his life enough that he ended up where he does.
Yeah, and they came up with, I mean, even if that show never came back, I think they came up with enough shit to happen to that guy to where you go, yeah, okay, I can see that. He's that guy now. Yeah. But none of it is like, oh, well, obviously this happened, and then therefore he's that guy because that's where the show had to go. It's none of that. So, I mean, I know it's a completely different thing from an action movie or anything like that, but from a storytelling perspective, I want that thing to be studied, because that is the blueprint on how to do a prequel correctly. It is not pandering to the audience. It is not just giving you references to hit your nostalgia boner or whatever. I mean, it is...
Don't hit my nostalgia boner, please.
And it's also not doing obvious stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that is the thing I can't stand. That is the worst thing that prequels do, is when they just bash you over the head with a... Boy, this would be really awkward if this thing happened to me in a high-rise building where my wife works one day. Well, hope that doesn't happen. See you next time. That shit is at the end of whatever the third Hobbit movie is, where they're just like, you should go to this forest and meet this guy. I bet you'll become fast friends. It's like, shut up, fuck off. You're the worst. This is just
you're the worst.
Yeah, it just Yeah, there's ways to do it.
That's what I'm saying. Your two things is like you can't start from a guy who's in the original version started from nothing, and then you can't. I think like tying directly up to something or trying to like we've got to wrap up all the threads that lead into this. No, you don't. Like there could be dangling things out there that like you don't explain.
Yeah.
I think that's more interesting. Like, leave a little bit to people's imagination because they will. I mean, number one,
some dang old dangly dang.
like number one, don't paint yourself into a corner that you couldn't do another movie. In the time span. And number two, like, don't. We don't need that. We know what happens later. Unless you're one of these weird people who's like seeing these movies for the first time and watching them in like episode order.
Yeah.
Like, then it'd still probably be annoying. Like, well, yeah, I knew that was coming because they mentioned it in the movie before. You know.
But I mean, holy shit! How many times did they try to do a prequel to Battlestar Galactica? Like they did at least what, 2, maybe 3, if there was like some web series in there at some point.
Yeah.
But it's like, guys, you're just milking it for the sake of milk. You're never going to recapture the Battlestar Galactica story. You're just not going to do it. That reboot was fantastic. You can't. There is no story worth telling before that is in any way relevant or any way compelling. You guys are just cashing in. And the Die Hard thing is that. It is like, Bruce Willis is old and he's a fucking cranky pants asshole. What do we do to keep this thing going? Let's do a young John McClane, and then maybe he'll
If
show
they
up at
wanted
the
to do
end.
that, they could have had John McClane Jr., but they cast the most blank-faced piece of shit guy ever to play him.
Yeah, and they did all of that in just the worst Die Hard movie.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, like, if they made the kid likable, and you'd be like, oh, well, we don't need Bruce Willis anymore.
Yeah.
You know, but God.
Yeah, they
Jai
made-
Courtney,
Well, that's
just-
why
Jesus.
I've hit the point where I'd rather they reboot stuff. Like, if it's like your actors are too old to do this, you can't recast them. You know what? Go ahead, reboot it. I don't care.
Yeah.
I really don't, because you know what that means. It's a separate thing. I don't even have to think of it as being part of this thing that I already like. And you know what? And if I end up liking it just as much, that's fine. But yeah, I'd rather see them totally remake Die Hard like everybody in the 90s tried to do.
I was going to say,
And you know
everyone
what?
in the 90s tried
Yeah.
just fine to make their Die Hard movie.
But just write a Die Hard movie and call it something else.
That's the thing. I think
Yeah,
they're
man.
afraid that if they do
I think
that
they're so
now,
risk
people
averse,
will
yeah.
reject it.
Yeah.
And that's
You're like,
dumb.
oh, that's just Die Hard. And
Yeah.
like, yeah, motherfucker, and you liked it, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well, all I can say is let's see what happens when London is fallen. Because that could be the new fucking Die Hard series as far as I'm concerned. I don't think the second one's going to be anywhere remotely even good. But, I mean, the first one is fucking fantastic.
so good. It's so goddamn
It's
dumb.
so good. Like, seriously, that could be our new Die Hard series. Because
I still need to watch
that.
that.
Movie's so fucking
Oh,
good.
Olympus is
London
so-
is falling?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the sequel to Olympus is fallen.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Oh,
It's coming.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's such a dumb premise too. I don't even know why they're all over there.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I don't care.
It's like, oh, we're all over here now, and oh shit, the same thing is happening again. Oh no.
well, it's just like the same fucking movie you put in an airport.
I know,
You
I know.
It doesn't matter
Yeah.
why they're there. It's just make the movie again.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. We got more emails, but we'll save them for next week because we're running long here.
Oh, okay.
Prequel
We had
talk.
good discussion there.
Next week we'll talk about the time before we started talking about prequel
Right.
talk.
We'll talk about
We'll
the
bridge
email
that
before.
gap.
It'll lead right up to
Yeah,
this
we'll give
moment.
you the very exciting origin story
Yeah.
of prequel talk.
Right.
So
Yeah, we've already talked about our own personal origin stories enough. We came out of vaginas.
Oh, you did.
Did you spring from your mother's head fully formed?
No.
Okay. I think it's time for contact information, probably.
I think it probably is.
Yeah. BMFcast.com. There are a bunch of buttons on the right-hand side, which will take you to all our social stuff. You can send us an email directly, bmf@bmfcast.com, or you can give us a call on the Garfield phone, 910-5-JOCKS-BMF, or 910-556-9263. Give us a call.
All right.
All right.
Hooray.
Where do we go now?
Hooray.
So I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
And
Way to half-ass it, Chuck.
I'm Chuck.
Chuck.
Taste there.
Yeah, did your voice crack? Is that what happened?
Yeah, it did.
I'm Chuck.
Hey.
This is my prequel.
Prequel voice.
Yeah.
Pre-Chuck. And this is BMFcast out.
Bye.
That's how we end.
Yep.
Yeah.
See you next time, motherfuckers.
There we go. That's how we end.
That's how you end up.
BJ
fucking
calling
bum.
us motherfucker.
Star Trek Enterprise.
I call them
Killed
motherfuckers.
Star Trek.
What?
Star Trek Enterprise.
What about Star Trek?
The TV
Prequel
show.
show.
Do you think
great.
it really killed Star Trek?
What the hell?
I like this show. I hate the fucking theme song.
It's great. Yes, I agree.
It's
but
got Bacula.
it didn't need to be a prequel.
Guess who's back?
Because-
that last season where they all right, so that's a bad example because I think that last season where they were like, let's tie every fucking loose end that doesn't make sense from the original series to Next Generation reboot.
Yes.
and they tied every fucking loose end. That is the best example.
I agree, but a lot of the first 3 seasons was like foreshadowy, pandering bullshit.
That's a weird example though, because that's a 30-year fucking span, or maybe not, a 20-year span.
I know.
Between series. Where
I'm just saying, like we said on that podcast, it's like that show didn't need to be a prequel. They could have just kept going.
Yes, maybe.
You could have maybe done some mini things.
I have nothing to contribute, so I'm going home.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I'm saying, like, the
Why didn't you do that
explanation
2 hours
for
ago?
why Klingons were guys
Oh,
with bushy eyebrows.
sick burn.
I contributed
What?
something.
No, you didn't.
How are they sick burning?
Yes, you did. But
All right,
I
whatever.
don't know.
The explanation of like why guys were bushy eyebrow guys to ass faced dudes
I agree.
is great.
I agree.
this is the dumbest conversation on the internet.
That show did not need to be a prequel.
I love it.
Whatever. I still say
You didn't need to be a
right now.
prequel.
They could reboot Star Trek on TV, and it would be a hit if they made Starfleet Academy. Because you'd have young people, and they could go on
Young
adventures,
hotties that
and you can bring in
bone
people.
each other.
They can bring in people, and like so and so's teaching class this week, and there's the reason for them to show up in Star Trek world.
I'm amazed that they have not figured.
That's
out how to
fucking
get Star Trek
stupid
back
that
in
has not been a series yet.
Yeah. I mean, even not doing that, I'm amazed.
Just stick that shit on the CW, and it's going to run for 7 years.
Yeah.
It'll run for 12.
nobody will
I'm sorry.
watch it
I'm
'cause
sorry.
it's on
It'll,
the
it'll,
CW.
it'll run for 12 years because it's the CW, and
Right.
they'll just run things forever.
Yeah, like that fucking Supernatural show that I've never seen a second of is in like its 12th fucking season.
Really?
Yes, Supernatural's
Jesus.
been on forever.
Well, people love that fucking show.
I know.
That is a pretty good show. I haven't watched enough to like really know the history, but like the people writing that show are damn good.
I know.
people that weep about the.
Yes, everyone on my Twitter timeline is making those characters fuck each other in their in their slash fiction.
They're shipping the fuck out of
Yes, there's constant shipping going on.
Well, all right, it's time for us to go. Bye, internet.
Bye.
Start // quit.